Hi guys, it's Kino. Welcome to another video. So in today's pick a card, we are going to be finding out what is next in love for you. I will go deeper into what this reading is going to consist of in just a moment, but before we get into it, I want to give a huge thank you to Babbel, who is sponsoring today's video. You guys already know I love Babbel. They are a language learning app and it is scientifically proven to get you speaking a new language in just 3 weeks. What I personally love about Babbel is that there is so much variety in the different lesson formats. It takes about 10 minutes to complete each lesson, so they are short, they're easy to complete, and they are so much fun. Rather than just memorizing vocabulary, you're really learning how to have real life, natural conversations. You get lots of examples of sentences that native speakers would use, and you even get facts and tips about the culture, the history, the people. Agora estou estudando português.
Você estuda de manhã?
Você estuda de manhã?
Eu trabalho à tarde.
Eu trabalho à tarde. A pronúncia é muito difícil.
I am still in the beginner level of the course, could you tell? But I am really enjoying it. I also really like the positive reinforcement that you get for completing a lesson, for showing up, for being consistent with your daily studies. It makes me feel good about being consistent, and it actually helps to keep me on track with the rest of my daily routine in general. So I'm almost viewing it as like a self-improvement thing as well. If you're someone who struggles to stay consistent and finish what you start, I promise Babbel will keep you on track. Not only is it fun, but the progress that you make from lesson to lesson is really impressive. You will find yourself being able to speak sentences so quickly. I also feel like learning a new language is the perfect goal for 2022 because I think going into this year, we're all very eager to step out of our regular environment, step out of the box, get out, travel, oh my goodness. And so learning a new language is of course a great way to expand your horizon this year. If you guys are interested in giving Babbel a try, you can get 65% off your subscription by using my link, which will be down below in the description for you as well as in the pinned comment. And there is a 20-day money-back guarantee, so you really have nothing to lose. And I highly, highly recommend Babbel. They are my favorite language learning app that I've used so far. So thank you so much to Babbel as always for partnering with me on this video. Thank you so much to you guys for listening to that, and now let's get on to the reading. Hi guys, it's Kino. Welcome to another video. So in today's pick a card, we are going to be finding out what is coming next for you in your love life. This is going to include interpretations for any situation or any relationship status that you may be in. And in addition to looking at future predictions, we're also going to be getting some advice for you on how you can help to bring about your desired outcomes in your love life. So there are 4 readings for you guys to choose from today, and each reading will be using a different tarot deck. We also have different hearts to help you guys pick your readings. So I'm going to show you each of these options one by one. I'm going to show you the heart close up, and I'm also going to show you a card from each of the decks so that you can get an idea for what the artwork looks like and see which one might be calling to you. And I'm going to be showing you guys the Ace of Cups because this is a card that talks about fulfillment as well as new beginnings in love or new beginnings that are emotional in nature. So I thought that was a nice fit for the reading today. But let's get into it without further ado. I'm going to show you each of your options. Option number 1, your stone is blue Labradorite. Your deck is the True North Tarot, and this is the Ace of Cups. Option number 2, your stone is Selenite. Your deck is the Apparition Tarot, and this is the Ace of Cups. Option number 3, your stone is Goldstone. Your deck is the Accurate AF Tarot, and this is the Ace of Cups. And option number 4, your stone is Rose Quartz. Your deck is the Muse Tarot, and this is the Ace of Cups. So just in case you need a bit more time to pick, I've laid out all of the options side by side so that you can compare and see which one is calling to you the most. Take all the time you need to pick. You can pause the video if you need to. I'm going to go ahead and get started with number 1. Hi number ones! So if you guys chose the blue Labradorite and the True North Tarot, this is going to be a reading all about what is next in your love life. I just wanted to mention, before filming this pile, I had Radar by Britney Spears stuck in my head. If you haven't heard it before, it is an amazing song. So please feel free to actually do yourself a favor and go listen to it. But basically the hook of the song is like, I got you on my radar. And that's the lyric that keeps repeating throughout the song. So maybe you guys have your eye out for somebody, or someone has you on their radar, like someone's checking you out. But I just thought that I would mention that. Or maybe somebody's a Sagittarius, because Queen Britney is a Sagittarius. But let's get into the reading. So just to make things a little bit more personalized, I'm going to pull 3 cards from this deck, and I'm going to get some predictions for what am I trying to say? I'm gonna get some predictions depending on where you're at in your love life. So I'll pull 1 card for those of you who are at the beginning of the cycle, the middle of a cycle, and the end of a cycle. Now, it's totally up to you where you feel like you are at in your love life and which messages you want to claim. You're free to claim 1, 2, or even all 3 of them. But just for an example, someone at the beginning of a cycle in their love life maybe is single and trying to meet somebody new, or maybe they have just met somebody recently that they're interested in. Someone in the middle of a cycle maybe is already in a committed partnership, or they've been interested in someone or involved with a certain person for quite some time already. And then someone at the end of a cycle maybe has just gotten out of a relationship or is considering getting out of a relationship, or maybe they have been through a separation, a falling out, or a drifting apart of sorts. But again, it will be totally up to you which messages resonate for you. So let's get 1 card for those of you who are at the beginning of a cycle. We have the Ace of Swords. Very fitting, because aces talk about new beginnings. For those of you who are in the middle of a cycle, we have the Chariot. And for those of you who are at the end of a cycle, we have the 8 of Cups. Okay, well, so this group is pretty literal. I wouldn't be surprised if this group has spirit guides who are like very blunt and very literal, because first of all, the cards came out super, super quickly. So this tells me that your spirit guides are super sure about the energy here. They're super sure about what they want to tell you. And they're also very excited to share this news with you. And then it's kind of funny because, like I said, for those of you who are at a beginning, we have a card that literally talks about a new beginning. And then, I don't know if you can hear that, but a car just started. So it's like things are getting revved up for you guys. And that matches really, really well with the Chariot too, because it's like, vroom, vroom. Let's go. Let's make progress. Let's move forward. And then for the end of a cycle, we have the 8 of Cups, which is literally about walking away from something and leaving something behind. So super, super literal messages here. I just saw 333, by the way, in case that is significant for you guys. But let's go through these one by one. So for those of you who are at the beginning of a cycle in your love life, I have to say that there is some breakthrough or some change coming for you guys very, very soon. Swords energy is very fast, and it's also super clear and direct. So for those of you who are looking to meet a new person, manifest somebody new into your life, I do think that they're coming into your life quite soon. From the time that you are watching this, it could literally be like a month. It could be a matter of weeks. For some of you, it could even be a matter of days. I do think that this person is going to be coming towards you. The number 1, it's making me think of the first house. And so, you know, the first house represents you and someone coming into your space. So they'll probably message you first, or they'll probably come up and start the conversation with you first. But sort of the identifying factor of this relationship is that this is someone who's going to be very clear and direct. So this is not somebody who leaves a lot of room for second guessing and, you know, where their head is at and how they're really feeling. It's like they speak everything very directly, and I feel like you can take what this person says at face value. The speed that we see with the Ace of Swords, it could also be referring to the relationship progressing quickly, if that resonates with you, if that's something that you want, then please feel free to claim that. But I was more so thinking that it's referring to the soonness of this breakthrough, this new beginning coming in your love life. But this is going to be someone with whom you communicate very frequently, very freely. You love having conversations with them. And I'm also hearing like they're a breath of fresh air. There's something that is just so effortless about the connection and the way the energy flows between the two of you. It feels very seamless. So for example, right from your first conversation, right from your first date, there is no awkwardness, there is no embarrassment. You can just say whatever is on your mind and you bounce off of each other very, very well. You could also be an air sign or dealing with an air sign. So Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. But yeah, things are changing very quickly. Your new beginning is coming very soon here. Now, for the Chariot, this is also wonderful energy. We have a little bit of Cancer energy here. So a Cancer person could be significant, or Cancer season, if that's coming up at the time that you're watching this. Like if it's coming up pretty soon at the time that you're watching this, then it might be a significant time. But like I was trying to say before, I think I just said vroom vroom, which was very articulate. Like the car, Miss Car was trying to tell you, things are really revving up. Things are really being set into motion here. The Chariot is also a very speedy energy, much like the Ace of Swords. So it's showing me that things are progressing very, very quickly for you. Whether you are already with someone in a committed relationship, or you're just involved with someone, or you've had a specific person on your mind for quite some time, the Chariot represents a period where things are moving. It's like things are moving, what is it called? You're making a great leap. You're making a great bound in progress. So maybe you're going from kind of minimal, limited communication to you're talking every day, or you haven't seen this person in a very long time and now you're seeing them once a week, or you're seeing them very, very frequently, or you're making the leap to move in together if you're already with this person. It's the feeling of a big leap that is being made. And what I really like about the Chariot, this Cancerian, this intuitive kind of energy, is that this is happening just because it feels right. This is not happening because of like the timeline or the schedule that somebody has, or because someone is thinking like, we've been together for this much time, this is what our relationship needs to look like by now. It's very much based on emotion. It's very much based on intuition. Maybe for some of you, you're going to take your relationship to the next level, and for you, based on how it's been in the past, this seems really, really fast for you, but it just feels right. Like when you go with your gut, moving things this quickly or moving things this far is just what feels right. And something that's really nice about the Chariot too is that it talks about balance. We don't have it on this deck, but usually there would be two creatures here who are pulling the Chariot together. So it's this idea that both of the creatures are moving at the same time, at the same speed, with the same energy, and that's why the Chariot can move forward so smoothly. So this is indicating to me this beautiful reciprocity that you guys have going on, where you're both facing the same direction. You both have the same vision for the direction and the destination of this Chariot, and you're going to pull your weight together and move to a beautiful future together. It's a really, really nice energy that we have going for this group so far. And I really, really just want to keep stressing, like, things are picking up for you guys. Things are speeding up for you guys. Now, with the Eight of Cups, again, like I said, this is a pretty literal message when we're talking about the end of a cycle, because the Eight of Cups talks about walking away. In this case, the Eight of Cups, or sorry, the number 8 is making me think of karma. Maybe that's like a relation to the 8th house that I'm sort of thinking of, but some of you guys are ending some karmic cycles. Maybe you are walking away from a karmic partner. If you have had a separation or some kind of falling out recently, I think that this card is affirming to you that this was a karmic connection and that you've learned your lessons and you're ready to move on to something greater. The Eight of Cups is all about venturing off to find something that is more meaningful to you, that is more emotionally fulfilling to you, that makes you more happy. I feel like for a lot of you guys, this ending is because you decided that you didn't want to settle anymore. I'm hearing like you didn't want to wait around for somebody to act right, or you didn't want to wait around for somebody to treat you right. And I think for a lot of you guys who are resonating with being at the end of a cycle, there was this feeling of like, I would rather be alone than be in someone's company who's not going to respect me or who is not going to make me a priority. Like, I don't want to be with someone just to not be lonely, or, you know, be in a relationship for the sake of being in a relationship. Because the Eight of Cups for me, there's often this emphasis of someone who is venturing off alone, and they're like, I know that this is going to be hard, but it's going to be worth it because I'm going to find my true joy on the other side of this mountain. So you guys, it's like you've set high standards for yourself, and you're like, it's worth the wait, it's worth the journey. And if I have to be alone for some time, then so be it. But I am not going to give my energy to those who are not reciprocating. Eight is all about balance as well, to those who are not reciprocating and those who are not treating me right. So this is a very empowering ending that I see here. And I think the main message for those of you who are at the end of a cycle is a confirmation that this is the right thing. It can be a very, very hard decision to make, like that decision to walk away, that decision to cut ties and let go. There can be a lot of what ifs, like did I do everything I can? Am I giving up too soon? Should I give this person more benefit of the doubt or give them another chance? If you guys are struggling and debating like that, I really think this card is a confirmation that you did the right thing if this ending already happened, or that this ending is the right thing. And I would even say those of you who are at the end of a cycle, you can claim these messages too, because maybe it's that once you let go of this old energy, let go of this old connection, things will be progressing for you a lot more smoothly in your life in general, but also specifically in your love life. So I also want to roll these astro dice and see what other messages we have for you. Okay, so we have Jupiter. I love that. It's funny because I said that maybe someone's a Sagittarius, and Jupiter rules the sign of Sagittarius, but Jupiter is all about blessings and abundance. So Spirit is trying to, well, clearly, Spirit is suiting up to bless you guys in the love department. Some of you guys will be partnering up with somebody who is highly educated or who is in a very high position. They could be kind of in a higher status than you in some way, which is very subjective, but Jupiter has this idea, or this energy, I should say, of someone who is expanding your world, someone who is broadening your horizons and making your life more abundant. So that's amazing. We also have, the dot means that this is the bottom, I think. So this would be the 9th house. That is even more Sagittarius energy. If any of you guys are students, like especially if you're in university or higher education, you could be meeting someone there. Or if you have been considering going into higher education, then this is your sign to do it. And that may actually lead to you entering into this connection that we're seeing here. The 9th house can also talk about travel. So it could be that this is like a long distance connection, or you will meet this person when you're traveling or when they're traveling, or maybe you guys are just from different backgrounds, because the Sagittarian energy, I can also talk about like foreigners, people from other lands. So maybe you're like an international couple or something like that. The 9th house is also very spiritual and philosophical. So again, going back to that energy of you guys having great conversations with this person, you could have some very deep philosophical discussions with them. And yeah, there was that message of right from the first time you talk, you're just getting into the good stuff. So I feel like this is a connection where you kind of like you skip the small talk and you get into the really deep discussions about spirituality or about the future or about your wildest dreams and your vision for your life. And
all of those more big, I was gonna say lofty. I don't really know what that word is, so I might be using it wrong. But that word just came to my mind. And then we also have the sign of Cancer, which matches with the Chariot. So I feel like the zodiac signs showing up are pretty consistent here. The Cancer energy makes me feel very warm and safe and cuddly. So this is someone that you're going to feel super, super secure around, and someone with whom, if you did live together, or if you're considering living together, there would be a lot of domestic harmony between the two of you. I feel like some of you guys needed to hear that. Cancer energy for me is also quite, I think you'll be very affectionate, very nurturing, and protective towards each other as well. Now, if I put all of these together, someone could have Jupiter in Cancer, or Jupiter in the 9th house, or Jupiter in Cancer in the 9th house, or they could be a Scorpio rising, I think, because when you're a Scorpio rising, you would have Cancer in the 9th house. I think I did that right. Okay, so now let's get into the tarot deck that you guys chose. I freaking love this deck. The True North Tarot. I think this is the second time I'm using it on my main YouTube channel, but all of the images are Polaroids, and it's very, very pretty. Well, you saw one of them. You saw one of them in the intro. So what is next for group number 1 in their love life? So we have the 10 of Swords, and this is actually in Shibuya in Japan. I don't know where all of them are. I know this scenery. We have the Empress. So there is some Taurus and Libra energy here. 4 of Cups. This energy is kind of sad, or kind of makes me emotional. That's a lot. I'm not gonna take all of those cards that just fell out, but I am gonna keep in mind that we had a little outburst of cards. There's some energy that wants to be spilled, or there's some energy that wants to be purged. We have the Wheel of Fortune. And then, we have the 6 of Cups. So I had actually planned to, we also have the Sun. I'll just put everything. I had actually planned to like shuffle and pull 4 cards, and then the 5th one would be the bottom of the deck energy. But then I just kind of zoned out and I shuffled and pulled 5 cards. So the 6 of Cups definitely wanted to come out here. And then we also have the Sun at the bottom of the deck. So I'm just going to take all of them. They all wanted to be here today. The Sun is Leo energy, but also we have the number 19, which reduces to 1. So there is a new beginning coming for you guys, and I think it very much does feel like the sun is rising. The sun is rising again after a dark night. And the sun means that there's a very, very happy time coming in your life. Of course, this is a reading about your love life, so definitely this applies to your love life, but I feel this sun energy really spilling out to your whole life. You guys are entering a chapter that is very, very happy, very, very joyous, and very carefree and uninhibited. It's like you guys are the sun and you're shining brightly and shining fully without holding back anymore. You don't have to hide. You don't have to be scared. I feel like a lot of you guys have been holding back out of a fear of getting hurt or out of a fear of judgment, which I think for many of you has been learned. And I will get to that in a second, but it's that joy of just being able to release the whole rainbow that is within you, of being able to shine all of your rays and feeling proud of who you are, and just that weight lifted of like, I don't have to curate myself, like which parts of myself I want to show, and I don't have to police myself, and I don't have to constantly be nitpicking and judging myself. I can just let it all hang out and relax. You can think of the sun energy as like a carefree child who is frolicking, and they don't give a shit what they look like, and they don't give a shit how loud they're being. They're just enjoying the moment. And this is the energy of the chapter that you guys are stepping into. And I think that the partner you're attracting, or the person you're with right now, is really, really facilitating you stepping into this energy. So, okay, let's talk about this Ten of Swords. It was these 3 cards that came out, I think, that were making me feel kind of a twinge of sadness. And actually, I'm going to start with the Empress and the Four of Cups. And I just want to talk for a second about how amazing you guys are, how beautiful you are on the inside and out. I see that you guys are sensitive with this rose here. You're highly intuitive, highly sensitive people, but you are so kind and compassionate. You're also incredibly talented. And also your guides are saying you're incredibly interesting. What you say is very fascinating. What your ideas are very valuable. Your ideas and opinions matter. And you should share yourself more. You should come out of your shell more. You are literally the freaking Empress. And with the Four of Cups next to this can talk about discontent, dissatisfaction, disappointment, but it also talks about not seeing something. And so with these 2 cards next to each other, I was like, oh, okay, so group 1 is the Empress, but they don't see that in themselves. They have all of these wonderful qualities that they don't see in themselves, and they haven't been shining like the sun because they haven't even realized that they are this brilliant sun. And what made me sad was that I think there's someone, or it's been a series of people throughout your life, who have kind of influenced the way that you look at yourself. So I'll just give an example. This is a hypothetical example, but let's say there's someone who, you know, they love to laugh. They have this like very loud laughter, and they love to play, and they love to joke around. And they have this beautiful, infectious, sunny energy. But there's someone around them who is just honestly kind of a buzzkill, or they're very serious, or maybe they're envious of how bright the sun shines. And so they'll say things like, oh my gosh, you're so loud, you're so annoying, or you really think that's funny? Why are you getting so excited? It's not such a big deal. And so this bright light starts to dim itself more and more and more because it's feeling shamed for how bright it is, for how intense it is. And you can apply this to so many different qualities, to so many different traits in people, but I feel like you guys have been around someone or around people who it's like they would find any reason to knock you down or to make you feel smaller. And honestly, I can't speak for them and say why they did that, but I could guess that maybe they felt threatened by how brightly you shine. I'm also getting like, for some people, you might have been with someone who was incredibly insecure, and they saw how brightly you shined, and maybe they were thinking, if I let group 1 realize how amazing they are, then they're going to realize that they can do better than me, and they're going to leave me for someone else. Like, just what's going on in their head. I'm not going to say that like what is objectively true or not, but from their subjective perspective, maybe someone felt like, I have to keep group 1's self-esteem low so that they stay with me, because they feel like they're going to end up alone if they don't, or they feel like they can't do better than that. It could be, and honestly, it doesn't have to even be a significant other. I feel like even family members could do this to keep you under their thumb or to keep you sticking around. But it was in the best interests of some insecure or threatened person, I think, that you didn't realize that you were the Empress, or that you didn't realize that you were this sun. And unfortunately, like, what made me sad was that I think in many cases they succeeded, or they did a pretty good job of hiding your own light from you. But with the Ten of Swords here, I feel like maybe this is the karmic relationship that you guys are dealing with, but I do feel like it's coming to an end. The Ten of Swords literally talks about an ending, about putting something to rest, and I actually like how the swords are in this card because it looks like they've created some kind of protective wall. Like this is over and this energy cannot get to you anymore. I think there's a lot of blessings coming for you in your love life, in your relationships, but it starts with cutting out this old energy. And I think that many of you guys have already done this, and this is like a confirmation that you did the right thing, or maybe you guys are like on the verge of removing this energy and this is like your push or your sign to go for it. I'm just getting the feeling that the majority of you at the time you're watching this are already more or less aware of what is going on or what has been going on in your relationship. So, and I think you'll start to notice like once these cords are cut, and some of you guys might actually want to do energetic cord cutting. There are like videos for this on YouTube, like meditations or videos where people are performing a cord cutting ritual, I think it's called, for you. But if you physically distance yourself from this person and you still feel, or these people, and you still feel their energy around you, that might just be something that you want to look into. But I love that we have the Wheel of Fortune after this, because this means that the universe is responding to you and things are starting to move in your favor now. And actually the Wheel of Fortune also kind of has this energy of things are gaining momentum now. Things are picking up now. So it's like, I'm imagining a wheel that has been still, and it's like, you know, I'm trying to do the sound effect of a wheel starting to turn, but it's like little by little, and then it starts gaining momentum, and then it starts turning, and it starts snowballing and turning faster and faster. That's the visual I see when it comes to like the direction your life is headed in. And all of these blessings that have been waiting for you, all of these blessings that have been meant for you, it's like they got their cue. Like, okay, let's go. It's time to make our way into group one's life. And then we have the Six of Cups here, which is a beautiful card that talks about unions, like soul unions or soul reunions. Perhaps a lot of you guys who chose this group have been manifesting your soulmate or feeling very strongly that someone is your soulmate or your soul family. Just someone significant that you feel spiritually connected to. And this is what the Six of Cups is all about. I love that there is, I'm pretty sure this is a sunflower in this jug, because of course that matches very, very well with, oh my gosh, I think each of them has a little sunflower inside it, I think. Or maybe those are just rays of light, but I thought that's very, very sweet. It matches very, very well with the sun. These are also cards, the Sun and the Six of Cups, that I would associate with children or with your inner child. So again, there's this sort of very pure and innocent and carefree feeling that we have here. Six of Cups can also talk about home. So again, finding that connection where you feel really safe, where you feel at home, which we were speaking about with the Cancer energy. Six of Cups just reminds me of Cancerian energy. I don't think that's technically the zodiac association, but that is just what it makes me think of. Somewhere where you feel completely secure, completely comfortable, familiar, at home. And I also wanted to say the Six of Cups is healing and serenity. So you guys are really cultivating your inner peace, and no one can take it away from you anymore. I feel like whatever you've gone through here, I wanted to say this is a lesson that you learn once and then you never forget it. But maybe for some of you it has taken a few attempts to find the courage to move away from this connection or to distance yourself from this energy, or maybe it's taken a lot of thought. But there's that feeling of we're not going back. Like once this wheel starts moving, you can't stop it. You can't stop the chariot. Like it's too late to send your blessings back because they already know where you are and they're already gonna come find you. So there's definitely some tough energies to get through. Like I said, I feel like most of you guys are aware of this and you're already moving away from it, or you already have moved away from it. But I just want to reiterate that the next chapter for you guys is really one of so much uninhibited joy. And you can smile as big as you want and you can laugh as loudly as you want, because the person you're attracting or the person you're with wants nothing more than to see your pure and authentic expression. Because we have all of these cards about children, and we also have the Empress, which talks about motherhood, and Cancer energy can also talk about motherhood. I don't know if this will resonate for everyone, probably not, but if you are at the phase of your life where you're thinking of having a family, being a parent, or you want to meet the person with whom you would have that experience, it does look like the energy is very, very favorable for that. Or if you already do have children, this could just talk about harmony in your family, harmony in your domestic life. If you're a single person with children, then this could be like you finding a partner who, you know, really loves your children and your children love them, and there's harmony existing there. But I just thought I would mention there is a lot of child and childlike energy here. It could also be that this energy you're clearing away goes back to your childhood. Of course, there's many ways to interpret it, but I think this is what I am seeing for the tarot. So we're gonna move on to the oracle cards now. I took a little bit more than I usually do because I have too many decks, if I'm being honest, at this point, and then I can't make up my mind about which ones to use. So we're using 6 today, but let's see what other messages we have. We have freedom, spread your wings. So totally reminding me of that sun energy, that you're free to express yourself however you want. You're free to be yourself. You're free to be who you truly are. And you're free from these karmic ties, and you're free from this crappy energy that you have been in. I just looked up and saw 3333, and I think I saw 333 at the start of this reading too. So that's a really, really important number for you guys. If you have been seeing this, or if you start seeing this coming up, sorry, I have some burps coming up. But that means that your blessings are around the corner. That is definitely what that number means for you guys. And yes, I think it's very cute that we have 2 birds flying together. And if I'm not mistaken, are these not storks? I feel like those are storks. And we've been talking about like children and having children and stuff like that. So I don't know, somebody's having children in this group. All right, so the next card that we have is Topaz. Which month is Topaz again? Shit, I'm gonna have to look it up. But Topaz is a birthstone for a specific month, and it is totally slipping my mind right now. So I'm gonna put a subtitle to let you guys know what it is, because that could be someone's birth month, or it could be a month that is going to be significant for you guys if it is coming up. But looking at this card, this looks like a treasure chest to me, and then we have all of these beautiful precious jewels surrounding it. I think this is speaking to you guys finding someone who is really, really going to treasure you. And also, I'm hearing someone who doesn't pick and choose. That could mean so many different things, but like someone who doesn't pick and choose, for example, like, oh, I want you to be yourself, but not like that. I want you to express yourself, but not like that. Or they only want to be with you when times are good, or they only want to be with you when it's convenient. Like, this person takes the whole chest and they take everything that is in it, like all of the good, all of the bad. They want a relationship, and they want it for the ups and downs. They want it for the exciting moments and for the not so exciting moments. I think you guys get what I mean. It's, not picking and choosing what aspects of you they want to cherish or what aspect of a relationship they want to be there for. It's like they're all in. They're an all-in kind of person. I actually don't know the spiritual significance of topaz, so I'm gonna have to look that up as well. And if I find anything interesting that I feel is worth noting for this group, again, I will put it in a subtitle for you guys. But look at what we have next. We also have a sunflower with hope, and so that's exactly what we saw in the Six of Cups that I thought was so sweet. Even more sun energy coming through here. So your bright day is coming. Your bright sunny day is coming, and your guides want you to have hope. I love this orange yellow color. We even have the orange yellow color on topaz because it just makes me think of so much brightness and cheerfulness and happiness. We have gathering around the power of community. So some advice for you guys when it comes to, like, if you haven't met this person yet, I think that going out more and getting more involved in your community could be helpful. Like I said before, I do think that this is someone, like if you're meeting someone new, I do think that they are going to be making the move towards you, but it definitely will help to get out there and make yourself visible, you know? So go out and mingle, engage in the activities that you're interested in. Some of you guys, I felt like you were maybe going to school or traveling, or maybe you're traveling for school or something like that. But really going out and getting involved in your community, I think is gonna help this person to find you, and you might come together through a shared activity that you guys do, or through a shared interest. With the number 26 here, I know this is totally not going to resonate for everyone, but somebody might be like 26 years old, or that's going to be an important age. I also think that this can talk about your circles of friends or your communities getting along well. So, you know, your friends like them and their friends like you, your family likes them, their family likes you. You guys get the picture, people coming together. And mushrooms also make me think of telepathy because they look separate, but they have this network under the ground where they're all communicating with each other, if I'm not mistaken. So this could be someone that you have a telepathic connection with, even like this Cancerian energy right next to the Ace of Swords. It's kind of giving me that vibe as well. So you might pick up on this person's energy before you meet them in the physical. And actually, yeah, totally. You have the Six of Cups here. So this is going to be someone whose energy feels very, very, very familiar, and the way it's coming to me is like eerily familiar. Like I know that I know you, but I don't know why I know you. I don't know from where I know you, but I have been familiar with your energy for a long time, and probably your higher selves have been in communication before you even realized it. We have Truth, Bittersweet Nightshade. Oh, that's the name of the Bittersweet Nightshade is the name of the flower, and Morning Cloak is the name of this little dragon. This is making me think of the higher chakras, the third eye and the crown chakras, with this purpley color, and also with the word truth. It's making me think of seeing past the veil, of seeing past the 3D, and getting to the heart of what is really going on. And I want to give you guys a message of confirmation to trust what your soul is telling you, even when it might not appear that way in the 3D. We were talking a lot about the energies gaining momentum, the energies speeding up for you guys, and I was sort of getting this nagging feeling that might be a message that is kind of hard for you guys to believe. Like if things have been slow or stagnant for a long time, hearing that things are speeding up, hearing that there's a breakthrough coming, hearing that there's huge progress that is going to be made, and that this next chapter is going to be so happy and bright for you. It could be something that you struggle to feel hope when you hear that message, or you struggle to really accept it. But this truth and this purple color, it's just making me think, like, regardless of what is happening in the 3D, regardless of what it might look like on the surface, your soul knows the truth. So this is like your permission, or not that you need my permission, but you know what I mean. Give yourself permission to listen to what your soul is telling you, and to believe in that. And then, ooh, so I was so interested in it being the number 62 when we had 26 here. I was like, ooh, mirroring numbers. And then I didn't even freaking realize that this card says, what does your soul say? You see, this is some literal spirit guides we have here for sure. But look, what does your soul say? Your soul is telling you the truth. Your soul knows what's going on. Your soul knows what is coming to you. Probably you guys even just watch readings like this for confirmation. So take my confirmation. You don't need me to tell you, but take it. And then yeah, we have mirroring numbers here. We have 62 and 26. So this could literally just mean that there is some mirroring going on between you and this person. Maybe you have had similar experiences. You've had similar karmic cycles and you're kind of finishing up those cycles at the same time. But these are actually really beautiful numbers to be mirrored, because the number 2 talks about partnerships and harmony, masculine and feminine energies coming together, and 6 is about union, unconditional love, harmony, balance. So it's just really, really nice. What a nice way to finish things off. So I'm really, really happy for you guys. I'm really excited for you guys. I feel for you and the energy that you're coming out of, or the energy that you have just let go of. But what your guides want you to take away more than anything is that the sun is rising for you. Like, it's been a dark night, but your sun is rising. Okay, so these are all the messages I have for you guys. Group number 1, thank you very, very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. I also have a Patreon, so if you guys are interested in seeing even more exclusive pick-a-cards where you get to choose the topic, that will be linked down below too. And I have a music channel. The song that you heard at the very start of this video was an original song, so if you guys want to listen to that or any of my other songs, that channel will be linked down below as well. I'm sending you guys lots of love, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye! Hi number 2s, so if you guys chose the Selenite heart and the Apparition tarot, this is going to be a reading all about what is next for you in your love life. So just before we get into the deck that you guys chose, I want to pull a few cards from this deck. This first part of the reading is sort of going to make things a little bit more personalized. So I'm going to pull 3 cards from here and give different interpretations based on your relationship status, or sort of where you're at in your love life. So I'm going to pull 1 card for those of you who are at the beginning of a cycle, the middle of a cycle, and the ending of a cycle in your love life. Now, it's going to be totally up to you where you feel like you are at, which part of the cycle you resonate with, or which messages you want to claim. You could even claim all of them if you feel called to do that. But just to give some examples of where you might consider yourself to be, the beginning of a cycle could be something like you are single and you're looking to meet somebody new, or you just met somebody new recently and you're interested in them. The middle of a cycle could be you are in a committed partnership with somebody already, or you've been interested in a certain person or involved with a certain person for some time already. And then the ending of a cycle could be, for example, you just got out of a relationship, or you're considering getting out of a relationship, or you've been through some sort of separation, some sort of falling out, or drifting apart from somebody. Again, it's entirely up to you, and please feel free to claim as many or all of the messages that come out here. But for group number 2, let's start with those who are at the beginning of a cycle in their love life. Oh my goodness, we have Ace of Cups. That's very cool. First of all, this was the card that I showed in the intro for you guys to pick your reading. I thought it was so fitting for the theme of this reading. And also, aces talk about new beginnings, so it's very fitting for it to come out when we're talking about the beginning of a cycle. And group 1 got an ace as well for this part, so that's kind of cool. I feel like the cards are being very very literal today. For those of you who are in the middle of a cycle, we have the Six of Swords, amazing card. And for those of you who are at the end of a cycle, we have the Hierophant. Interesting. So there is some Taurus energy here in case that is significant for you guys, whether you or a certain person in your life is a Taurus. Also, this is of course a timeless reading, but if Taurus season is coming up at the time that you're watching this, then this could be an indication that Taurus season is going to be a significant time in your love life. But let's go through these one by one and see what messages we have here for you. So this is such a beautiful card to start off with. For those of you who are at the beginning of a cycle, this means that your new beginning is coming to you. And the message that's coming very strongly is go with the flow. Cups or water energy, it is a little bit on the slower side, but I would think of it as like a natural or even leisurely pace. We're going slowly because we're taking our time. We're going slowly because we're not in a hurry, and there's definitely not any delays or setbacks here. It's like a merrily slowly moving along kind of energy. So your guides are asking you to go with the flow. Your new beginning is coming. If some of you guys have been feeling a little bit antsy or impatient, they want to assure you that nothing has been delayed, that nothing has gone wrong. Maybe you are just a little bit eager, or maybe you're just getting ahead of yourself a little bit, but I heard the message like your soulmate did not get lost, or the person you're waiting for did not get lost. So maybe some of you guys are like, where are they? Why haven't they found me yet? And your guides are reassuring you that everything is going perfectly. I'm being reminded of, it's aquamarine. This is the stone that always makes me think of like peacefully going with the flow, going at a leisurely pace. I do think that there is a new love coming into your life, or if you have just met someone recently and you're interested in them, this is a very good sign that there's potential here, that this is someone who, well, you can make each other very happy. But again, your guides are encouraging you to take things slowly. At this point in your life, I think that there might be a lot of focus on your own self-love and your own self-care, and learning to fill your own cup before filling others' cups, or learning to fill your own cup before expecting others to fill your cup. And what your guides are saying is that the more your cup is filled and the more you master this self-love game, the more you master your self-care game, it doesn't mean that you're going to stop wanting a partner or stop wanting connection. But I think it will become less of a desperate need. It will become less of like an itch that needs to be scratched, is the way it's coming to me. You'll be more open and allowing and welcoming for this love to find you whenever the time is right. So you'll be able to really find peace in your current situation. I'm also getting kind of hanged man energy, like accepting the way things are, gaining a new perspective on your current situation, instead of thinking that something has gone wrong or things aren't how it should be because it's not happening as fast as you want, to try to see what the lesson is in your current situation and how this might be part of a bigger plan for you. But anyway, enough of the lecturing. Let's talk about the happiness that is coming to you guys. I love that there are rainbows on this card. Rainbow just make me think of such great joy and happiness, and it reminds me of the 10 of Cups, which in the Rider-Waite does have a rainbow on it, and it's such a happy card of emotional fulfillment, of your happily ever after, of being in love and being surrounded by love. And it also makes me think of showing your true colors. So someone you can really be yourself around and show all of who you are. This might be someone that you enjoy arts with, or that you enjoy creativity with, or this could also be someone who spoils you. Or it could be both. I shouldn't have said or. or. This is someone who really spoils you and takes really good care of you. They will definitely be in touch with their nurturing side and in touch with their feminine side, regardless of their gender. And this is a connection that feels very safe and secure. And I'm also sensing that this is a connection where the feelings will build gradually. So it's not so much like one intense shock and all of a sudden you feel really, really strongly and don't know what to do, but it grows on you. Like when you sink into a warm bath and your body just gradually warms up, the tingles gradually spread across your body. It's something that you move into very smoothly and very peacefully, and it just happens naturally. Like you're getting to know this person and you like them, and the next thing you know, oh my gosh, I think I'm falling in love with them. Like it's very, very sweet. It's this kind of energy. So the advice for you guys is slow down, allow things to unfold naturally. Don't try to control the situation or to try to control the flow of life. Everything is under control. Everything is coming to you at the perfect time. And this is definitely a happiness and new love that is worth the wait. So let's move on to the Six of Swords. This is very... I like this card. I like this card whenever it comes out, but what I'm sensing specifically for those of you who are in the middle of a cycle, so those of you who are already in a relationship or you've already met someone quite some time ago, been interested in them, been involved with them for quite some time, the Six of Swords means that you guys are about to have a very important, and I'm hearing also eye-opening, conversation about the direction of this relationship. Now, I do sense that it is something positive because the Six of Swords talks about moving away from a difficult situation into an easier one, into a more peaceful and happier one. And this is a card that when it comes to love and relationship or readings about any type of connection, really, it does make me think of a heart-to-heart, of getting to know each other better, and a conversation that you were kind of scared or nervous to have, but then once you got to talking, everything just flowed so well, and then you're like, man, I can't believe I was scared to say this to you. I'm so glad we had this talk. I'm so glad we got this all out in the open. And it wasn't anywhere nearly as scary as you thought it was going to be. In fact, it was very beneficial and very enjoyable. So there may be something that's kind of been on your chest, something you need to get off your chest, something that's been on your mind that you've been wanting to say to this person. And this is the confirmation that yes, conversations need to be had. Either way, I feel like you're entering into a chapter within this connection where your communication is heightened. So you're communicating more openly and more frequently, and just gradually it's becoming easier and easier to express your feelings and express your true self to each other. Maybe at first there was a little bit of nerves when it came to that, a fear of judgment, a fear of dismissal, a fear of rejection, but you're starting to become more and more comfortable around each other. To the point where it's not such a scary thing to say like, hey, can I tell you something? Or hey, I think we need to talk about something. Or I've just been thinking lately, like it's, I guess it's that feeling of, I know I'm safe with this person. I know that my opinions matter, and I know that they value how I feel. This is the kind of dynamic that I think you're cultivating together, and it's going to lead to a really nice heart-to-heart, a really nice conversation that leads your relationship in a good direction in the near future. Six of Swords can also talk about moving or moving in together. So for those of you who are in a committed relationship, that could be the next step for you guys. So now, this is very interesting. We have the Hierophant for those of you who are at the end of a cycle. If you guys are considering ending a cycle or a cycle has ended, I definitely think that the Hierophant is confirming to you that things have happened for the best. And in fact, this might have been your higher self intervening a little bit, because the Hierophant does make me think of the higher self. This might be kind of a harsh message, but for some of you, I can hear your higher self saying like, you know better. So I don't know, maybe some of you guys were involved with someone or attracted to someone when like you knew better, that like you deserve better, or you knew better that this was not the right match for you, or that this person wasn't in alignment, but maybe there was some attachment there, or you know, there was really strong chemistry, or you just been with this person for a very, very long time and it was hard to let go. But it kind of feels like your higher self intervened to get you away from things that were out of alignment and to bring you more into alignment with things that will serve your highest good. The Hierophant also talks about commitments, marriages, and for me, it also talks about the long-term future. you know, like really sitting down and practically making plans about your long-term future. So for some of you guys, you may have been in a connection or interested in someone where when you really thought about it practically and you thought about it in the long term of things or in the grand scheme of things, it didn't really make sense for your hopes and dreams. If I can give an example, let's say, you know, you really, really, really wanted kids and you were involved with someone or with someone who really, really, really didn't want kids. And for the moment, it's something that you can overlook because you're so crazy about each other and you're compatible in so many other ways. But when you get kind of sober, is the word that's coming to my mind, and you get kind of honest with yourself and look 5-10 years down the road, you realize like this is going to come back to bite us at some point, or, you know, there's going to come a time where we have to address this incompatibility or address this issue, and it's not going to work out in the long term. And maybe you're reaching a point in your life where you're like, I got to, you know, start settling down for the long-term future. I got to start getting my ducks in a row, getting my stuff together for my long-term future. Or maybe one of you like has a dream of living in another country and the other person is going to stay where they are. And so it might be okay now, but eventually someone's going to move. And do we really want to do long distance? It's like you have to think farther into the future, and your higher self was saying like, come on, let's be honest here. Like, you know better that this is not going to work out. That's kind of the message that I'm getting. So your higher self is here to confirm to you that those of you who have gone through an ending or are considering an ending in a relationship, that it is going to be for the best, and it is going to align you with your highest good and align you with the long-term future that you really, really want. And if you have just been through a breakup or a separation, I actually feel that for many of you, the next person to come into your life could be like the one, the person that you end up marrying, if that's something that you want, or being with for a very, very long time. So, okay, I'm gonna roll these astro dice now and see what other messages we can get for you. Okay, so we have Mercury, we have Aquarius, we have number 3, so this would be the 3rd house. Maybe someone has Mercury in Aquarius, or Mercury in the 3rd house, or all of these, Mercury in Aquarius in the 3rd house, or maybe somebody is a, wait for it, a Sag rising, a Sagittarius rising, because then you would have Aquarius in the 3rd house. But it's interesting that we have both Mercury and the 3rd house, because both of these have Gemini-ish energy. And actually this card reminds me of Gemini because it's air and it's the number 6, and like some Geminis are born in June. But both of these dice are all about communication. So communication is a huge, huge theme for you guys. Again, I feel like a lot of you, and honestly, this can resonate for any stage that you're at, but heart to hearts and open communication is a really, really big theme for you guys in your love life. And it's interesting that we have this Aquarius energy here as well, because I'm thinking of Aquarius as that cool, calm, collected, kind of emotionally detached energy. So it's almost like these are saying together, there's a need for you guys to get out of your feelings a little bit and examine your situation from an objective place and from a sort of detached place. Kind of like what we were talking about with the Hierophant, like we have to be practical with the decisions that we're making. Like, of course, love and emotion is a huge, huge part of relationships and passion, but we need a little bit more than that for a relationship to thrive in the long term. And sometimes we do need to disconnect from our emotions and look at things a little bit more logically. So I can see that resonating for this 6 of Swords message, for this Hierophant message, even for the Ace of Cups here. There was that message about learning how to, there was a message about learning how to care for yourself, learning how to fill your own cup, learning how to enjoy your own life. And there was also a message of you guys maybe being a little bit antsy or a little bit impatient if you're waiting for a new love to come in. If this doesn't resonate with you, feel free to ignore me, but I am feeling the need to say this for just a few people who might have picked this group. Some of you guys might, it's like when you meet someone new, you fall for them very quickly, or you start to already think, oh my gosh, could this be the one? Could this be my soulmate? Just when you're initially getting along or initially having butterflies for them. And maybe a little bit of it is just that you're a romantic, which is totally fine, but I wonder if maybe some people haven't learned how to fill their own cup, so that when they meet someone new that they like, they're like, oh, is this what's going to fill my cup? Is this what's finally going to make me happy? Is this what's going to finally make me at peace? Is this what's finally going to make me secure? And maybe kind of putting that need onto someone else, or projecting the responsibility to fill your cup onto someone else, if that makes sense. And maybe there's a need to step back and objectively think about the types of people you're attracting and who you're really attracted to. Yes. But okay, that's the messages I see for the Astrodice. We're gonna move on and get into the deck that you guys chose, which is the Apparition Tarot. And let's take a deeper look into group number 2. What is coming for group number 2's love life? We have the 5 of Cups. We have the 10 of Cups. The 9 of Pentacles. And the High Priestess. And then at the bottom of the deck, we have Strength. So we have some Leo energy here. We have water sign energy with the High Priestess. So that is Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. And then 9 of Pentacles is Venus and Virgo. I actually know that one, but I don't know the rest of them. Maybe somebody is like a Leo with Venus and Virgo, or a Cancer with Venus and Virgo, or something like that. But I'm actually going to talk about this first, the bottom of the deck energy with Strength. When it comes to the partner that you guys are with, or the partner that you guys are attracting, Strength makes me think of soul family. I don't really know where it came from, but it's just come to give me this feeling of souls that are best friends and that have really been through it together. Souls that have seen each other at their best and seen each other at their worst, and there's kind of nothing that could tear them apart anymore, or there's nothing that could scare them anymore. I do think that the connection coming to you guys is very, very significant, and we spoke about that with the Hierophant as well. Like, this could be marriage material, or this could be material for your forever relationship or your long-term relationship. It's also interesting that we have 2 fixed signs here, Taurus and Leo both being fixed signs, because again, it makes me think of something that has, oh, and Aquarius is fixed too. And there's water sign energy, and I mentioned Scorpio. So all of the fixed signs are here. But yes, that fixed energy is making me think of something that has staying power, that is not going anywhere. So your current relationship, or the relationship that you're about to enter into, I think that this person is going to stick around for a long time. And I think that, like, I'm thinking of, it's going to take a lot to drive me away from you. And I feel like I quoted that song in a different reading, Africa. But yeah, it would take a lot for this to fall apart, because again, it's like nothing can scare me anymore. From the perspective of your higher selves, we've already been through so much together, and we can get through anything. I think the bond that you're creating right now, or the bond that you're manifesting into your life, is just rock solid. And I think that you treat each other with so much compassion. You know, obviously this deck is different, but usually we would see this woman and a lion, and she's kind of caressing the lion. So it's like, you know, the lion's being all like, rah, like fierce and loud and scary. And the woman is just like, oh, little baby lion. And I feel like this is how you guys will will treat each other. Like you could be having the worst day and be in the worst mood, not looking your best, not feeling your best, just being all crabby, and this person will still be like, hi little baby, how was your day? Like nothing could turn them off or nothing could make them think about you differently. I just saw 2222, so that could be a number that you guys see to let you know that this relationship is coming in, or to let you know that you are on the right path, that you're in good hands. But yes, I just feel like a very strong, solid bond, like best friends, because your souls are best friends. Immense compassion for each other, soft spots for each other, so that you would always think that the other is just like the cutest little baby in the world, and you just want to protect each other. And I also feel a fierce loyalty with that fixed energy. Like I'm really not going anywhere. You're gonna have to kick me out. With the 5 of Cups though, right before the 10 of Cups, I do feel like you guys might go through a heartbreak before you find your happily ever after. So if you have been through a heartbreak recently, it could be a sign that the next relationship to come in is like, is this 10 of Cups? Is this really, really strong connection? And I also, what was coming to my mind is that it's like you're used to people leaving, or you're used to things not going the way you'd hoped. It is quite a sad energy to sit with, but I'm just looking at this 5 of Cups, which obviously this person is crying. This is a card about loss, rejection, disappointment, and just the really, really strong emphasis that we have here on the loyalty and the fixedness. I almost want to say permanence of this connection that you're in now, or that is coming for you soon. And it almost feels like a foreign kind of energy. Like for someone to say, I'm here through it all. You can't get rid of me. Like I was saying, you're gonna have to remove me because I ain't going nowhere. The album Blackout has come up twice now. Blackout by Britney Spears, because I had one of the songs in my head for group 1, and then I just quoted Gimme More. You're gonna have to remove me because I ain't going nowhere. More. Sorry. Anyway, so that's the energy of this person, and that might be an energy that is a little bit foreign, like something that you're not used to. And maybe this energy is mutual. You're in for the long haul. You're in through thick and thin. You're not going to go anywhere. And that might be something that is really moving, really touching, and really new and unfamiliar for this person. But I just keep getting this feeling of like there's a heartbreak happening before your happily ever after, or you might go through some losses, or you might go through some rejections, because Spirit is protecting you, Spirit is redirecting you, Spirit is making sure that you get to your 10 of Cups. I want to tell you guys, like, if you have ever like lost somebody and it was painful, or like it was hard to find someone to commit to you and you just felt like things weren't going right over and over again, it's like Spirit wants to reassure you that none of those connections that were lost were your 10 of Cups. Like you didn't lose anything, because that wasn't your happily ever after. That wasn't the person that was meant for you. And if it was, Spirit would have made sure that you couldn't lose them. Nothing that was yours, or that was meant to be yours, or that could really, really make you happy has been lost. And your greatest happiness is being saved for you. Saved, so divinely protected, where no one can touch it and no one can mess with it. What is meant for you will not pass you by. And I'm kind of seeing this pattern that maybe some of you have gone through, where like when you get into a new connection, you get your hopes up a lot, thinking that it's your 10 of Cups. And then when things don't work out, it hurts that much more, because you've kind of climbed up so high, or you've thought that this is your 10 of Cups. So it feels like your 10 of Cups is being taken away, but it never was that. It never was your greatest happiness. So again, like going into new connections, I think that there is this like piece of advice to stay level-headed and to say like, okay, I feel positive about this person, but I'm just going to see where things go, and I'm not going to jump to any conclusions. It may even be, and I know it's ironic and maybe, is it hypocritical? Because I was talking about like your soul bond and things like that, but it may even be beneficial for you guys to drop those kinds of labels if that's something you really care about. Because we can get to that way of thinking of like, is this my soulmate? Is this my soulmate? Is this my soulmate? And trying to, you know, prematurely slap that label onto somebody. And I think Spirit is encouraging you to just let things flow naturally. Like we had that go with the flow, aquamarine, which I think, isn't that the stone of, no, that's amethyst. I always get amethyst and aquamarine, the birthstones mixed up, like February and March. But yeah, going with the flow and not like slapping this is going to be my 10 of Cups label on something, and just letting it unfold naturally, so that like if things don't work out, it's like, okay, thank you for showing me that you aren't the one for me, and please see yourself out. And I'm going to keep looking for my 10 of Cups. Now, that's not to say that you might not feel discouraged at times, and I don't want to invalidate like the difficulty or the discouraging feeling of trying out different opportunities and different connections, and it being like, no, that wasn't my 10 of Cups, that wasn't my 10 of Cups, that wasn't my 10 of Cups, because that can be freaking exhausting. That can be very, very tiring, and I don't want to disregard that, but I hope that at the very least I could give you guys this affirmation that your happily ever after is still waiting for you, that you haven't lost it, that you haven't missed each other, and anything that hasn't gone well for you was never meant to be. And it's very easy for me to say as some person on the internet, and I think it's a very hard thing to live through, but I just hope that I can give you that confirmation. And I saw here so much happiness coming, so many positives coming in your love life. I know that this 10 of Cups is coming for you. Everything you've ever wanted and more. That's the 10 of Cups. She fulfills all your wishes and then some. So the relationship that's coming or that's growing for you guys, it's greater than you ever could have dreamed of. And I could really tell you that someday will come in the future where you're glad the things that didn't work out. Like, thank God I didn't end up with that person, or thank God they didn't respond to me. Thank God they didn't continue to pursue me, because then I wouldn't have found this 10 of Cups. Like, there will come a day where you can really look back and think like that. So moving on, now we have the 9 of Pentacles, and I do think that this kind of ties into, you know, filling your own cup, being satisfied with your own life and enjoying your own life. The 9 of Pentacles, for me, it's like living this, well, not for me, I think it is the meaning of the card, living this nice, well-rounded life where you have your eggs in different baskets and you find fulfillment in many areas of your life. So again, there may be some of you, maybe not everyone, but there may be some of you in this group who are putting a lot of eggs in the love basket as the thing that's going to make you happy. And this is about finding happiness everywhere, in your work, in your friendships, in your hobbies and interests, and in your spiritual practice and in your self-care routine, you know, building this kind of well-rounded and balanced life for yourself. I do think with the 9 of Pentacles here, this could be a sign that some of you guys are coming up to an amazing opportunity in your job or in your finances. Maybe some of you guys are getting a new job, or you're getting a promotion. I see money coming in for you guys. I see people appreciating you, being very generous with you, and giving you the recognition and the credit that you deserve. Some of you guys might be even making a career out of a hobby or out of something that you're really, really passionate about. The 9 of Pentacles can talk about self-employment as well. But it's something that you're going to be very, very appreciated for and rewarded very, very handsomely for. And I think this is going to bring back fulfillment into your life, and also bring back confidence. Some of you guys, it's like you've left your talents on a back burner, or you've left your creativity on a back burner, and it's kind of sucking the life force out of you. And maybe you haven't been feeling like yourself lately because you haven't been expressing yourself, or you haven't been using your creativity, or you haven't been engaging in your talents. And it's like been like this for so long that Spirit is saying some of you guys may have forgotten what it feels like to feel like yourself and to feel in the zone and to be in the creative flow, and you've forgotten how happy it makes you. There's that feeling of needing to get back to something that once made you very happy, and that potentially bringing material wealth to you. So good news is coming for you in your finances. Good news is coming for you in your career. It could be your studies as well. But I think the Spirit's kind of orchestrating for something to happen to you that is gonna get the ball rolling in terms of having a well-rounded life, or in terms of putting your eggs in different baskets. So for example, if you're thinking like, I don't know where to start when it comes to building this nice life for myself, or when it comes to filling my own cup, Spirit's gonna say, here, I'll help you get started. Here's this amazing work opportunity, or here's this amazing passion, here's this amazing creative project that is gonna bring you wealth and bring appreciation into your life. Kind of, you know, giving you a starter pack, if I could put it that way, and getting you on the right track to living a life like this. And I kind of feel like maybe this is your past energy, or you know, up to now you've been in this energy where you're really, really longing for this love to come in, or longing for this love to grow. But I feel like by the time it comes around, by the time it comes into your life, it's not that you don't care anymore. And I think we spoke about this a little bit with the Ace of Cups. It's not that you don't care, or you don't want the connection, or you don't want the companionship anymore, but it's not such a desperate need anymore, because there's so many other things going on in your life, and you're really, really enjoying yourself, and really, really feeling yourself. And with the High Priestess here, it's very interesting, because the High Priestess, when it comes to love, I think of her as somebody who has high expectations and high standards for her connections, and someone who does not chase. Now, she could definitely make the first move. The High Priestess can do whatever she wants. She's an absolute legend, but it's this feeling that she does not chase, you know? She's not like, oh, come on, notice me, pay attention to me. Yeah, come on. She's not pressed, you know? If you like me, you like me. If you don't, you don't. And she's not worried about it, because she loves herself. She feels herself. She respects herself. She's proud of herself. She doesn't need you. She doesn't need you to think anything about her. The High Priestess has that kind of bad bitch energy, if you will. So I definitely think you guys are the High Priestess. You're stepping into this energy. You're embodying this energy. I do think for many of you, this love will make a move towards you, because that's generally how it goes with the High Priestess. She's more of like, I'm sitting in my throne and letting them come to me. She does have that kind of energy to her. Now, that doesn't mean if you feel like you want to take action towards someone or make the first move, by all means, please do it. Because again, she can do whatever the heck she wants. But she's by no means desperate, and she by no means needs any one person to make her whole and complete. So if someone is not on her wavelength, if someone is not responsive to her, she's like, okay, go along your merry way then. Like, I'm gonna keep living my life, and I'm not even bothered. I feel like this is the energy that you guys are gonna be in, that you're gonna be building up over the next few months. And this 10 of Cups is coming in for you, but it will just be like icing on the cake at that point, and not your whole cake per se, if that makes sense. So let's get into the oracle cards now. I took a little bit more than I usually do, because I'm getting to the point of having too many decks now, and I just can't choose. So let's see what we have for you guys. Trust, faith in the power of the universe. Exactly. Everything is unfolding exactly as it should. We spoke about this with the Ace of Cups, and the High Priestess is all about trusting your intuition as well, which it's funny that I don't think I mentioned that, because I feel like that's the biggest message of the High Priestess, that you're way more tapped in than you realize. Your intuition is way more spot on than you realize. Ooh! We have watermelon tourmaline. So we literally see a union happening here on this card, union between masculine and feminine counterparts. The watermelon tourmaline, it's a stone of the heart chakra, but the green color relates to the masculine aspect of the heart, and the pink color relates to the feminine aspect of the heart. I think the person that's coming in here, how can I say it? You share the same heart space. It might be a way to put it. First of all, you might feel each other through your empathic abilities, or you might feel each other through clairsentience, like picking up on each other's emotions. This can also be speaking of the soft spot that you have for each other, but it's like you might get sentimental about the same things, get emotional about the same things, have your heartstrings tugged in the same way. It feels like you're very, very similar on a heart level. You're emotionally fulfilled by the same things. Maybe you're even upset by the same things. And I think that's gonna make it quite easy for you guys to understand each other and to relate to each other. And I think a lot of your connection kind of transcends words, where you just know what the other person needs. You just know intuitively how the other person is feeling. It's like, say no more. I know you like the back of my hand. We spoke about this with strength. Like it feels like you've known each other for such a long time. Even beyond this lifetime, if that resonates with you. But it's that feeling of knowing someone inside out. And now I'm thinking of the Britney Spears song Inside Out, which is such a bop. Yeah, Britney's coming through a lot today. Yeah, could also be speaking of like sexual compatibility. I'm just thinking these two people are naked, and Inside Out is a very steamy song. But yeah, it's that deep familiarity of knowing someone inside and out. And it really feels like you share the same heart, like two hearts have become one. We have Daffodil with Rebirth. So whatever you guys have been through, because it does feel like you guys have been through a tough past when it comes to relationships, when it comes to your search for the one. And there's this feeling of whatever you have been through, you can and will heal from this, and you can and will find the hope to move on and find your new beginning. Maybe at times it feels hopeless, it feels like you can't do it, but I'm thinking of, it's in the fallback deck, which I use quite a bit on my channel, and one of the cards says, just when the caterpillar thought her life was over, she turned into a butterfly. So you guys really might not see this new beginning coming. You guys really might not see this happiness coming, but trust that it is. And with rebirth too, it's like taking on a completely new form. So there's almost a message here of whatever has happened in your past does not have to dictate what happens from now on, what happens in the future. You can become a completely different person today. You can live your life completely differently starting today. You don't have to be a prisoner to your past. You don't have to repeat history. If you've been having the same dissatisfying cycles in your relationships, you don't have to keep repeating that. You don't have to repeat what has been passed on by generations either. I feel like some of you guys needed to hear that. Like if there's a cycle of toxicity in your family's relationships, like your parents or your grandparents or whatever it might be, like that can stop with you and that can change with you. Ooh, and we have the number 55, which is it's literally all about change, and it's all about turning points, and your decisions can determine where you end up. If you want to keep going how things are or do things differently, that's the opportunity that the number 5 offers you. It's at the middle of the numbers from 1 to 9, so it is kind of like this pivoting point where you can go back, or you can be brave and you can be bold and you can step into a new future. If you see repeating 5s, I think repeating 2s were important for you guys as well. That's a message that change is coming, or that there's potential for a great change to come in your life. We have the farther gate with bold step forward. Yeah, things are moving forward, and it's like you're opening a door that hasn't been open before. This could be speaking about heart to hearts that are coming up. You're getting to know each other on a deeper level, or if this is a new relationship coming in, you could be reaching a level of intimacy that has not really been accessed before, that has not really been touched before in previous relationships. But this is making me think of going that one step farther, going that one step deeper, you know, knowing someone on that much of a deeper level. We have dignity. I'm thinking of self-respect. I'm thinking of what we spoke about with the High Priestess, of not chasing people, of not lowering your standards, of putting your happiness into your own hands and building your own abundant life. I'm just gonna leave it at that. It's an energy of setting your bar high and not being sorry about it, and not lowering your standards for anybody, and loving yourself more than any other. And then finally we have, whoa, we have limitations inspire innovations, and we have the number 52, which is so cool because I felt that the numbers that were most important for you guys were the numbers 2 and 5. If I'm being honest, the message that is coming through here, I don't necessarily think that it's about your love life, but I think it has to do with this abundance that is coming your way that we spoke about with the 9 of Pentacles. There was a feeling of you guys setting something aside or not pursuing something that you really cared about, maybe out of fear. I was gonna say maybe out of a lack of motivation, but I do think that it's likely driven by fear for most of you. And you may tell yourself things like, I'm not XYZ enough to do this, or I don't have enough of XYZ to do this, and thinking of all of the ways in which you are limited. And I think that this card is saying with a little bit of creativity, you can find a way to do what it is that you want to do. And I would also add that what you think might be a limitation, what you think might be holding you back, could actually make you stand out and could actually be your advantage. I'll just give an example of someone who wants to be a tarot reader, and maybe they're thinking like they want to make a tarot channel, and they're thinking, I can't do it because I don't have my own deck, or I can't get my own cards. And this would be spirit saying, yes, but you can make homemade cards, you can make your own. And then you might say, yeah, but they're not going to be as nice as other people's decks. It's going to be weird because it's going to be different from what everyone else is using. And you're thinking that's your disadvantage, when what's really going to happen is you're going to make these homemade cards, and people are going to start saying, wow, I've never seen a deck like that before. Those cards are so beautiful. Those cards are so unique. Do you sell them? Do you have a shop? So the very thing you thought was going to limit you was actually something that made you very innovative, very unique, and that actually was your advantage that helped you to stand out and help you to be successful. So that's something to remember for you guys. Like, don't let anything hold you back from pursuing what you're passionate about, because you deserve a space in that field just as much as anybody else does. And whatever is making you unique or different is going to work to your advantage. So these are all the messages I'm seeing for you guys, group number 2. So I'm going to end the reading here. Thank you very, very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. I also have a Patreon, so if you guys are interested in seeing even more exclusive pick-a-cards where you get to choose the topic, that will be linked down below too. And I have a music channel. The song that you heard at the very start of this video was an original song, so if you guys are interested in listening to that or any of my other songs, there will be a link to my music channel down below too. I'm sending you guys lots of love, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye! Hi number 3s, so if you guys chose the Goldstone Heart and the Accurate AF Tarot, this is going to be a reading all about what is coming next in your love life. So to make this reading a little bit more personalized, I'm going to start by pulling a few cards from this deck for predictions based on your relationship status or sort of based on where you're at in your love life. So I'm going to be pulling a card for those of you who are at the beginning of a cycle, the middle of a cycle, and the ending of a cycle in your love life. Now it's totally up to you where you feel like you're at and which messages you want to claim. And of course, you're free to claim several or all of them, but just to give some examples of where you might find yourself, someone at the beginning of a cycle, for example, maybe is single and is looking to meet somebody new, or has just met somebody new and is interested in them. Someone in the middle of a cycle might already be in a committed partnership, or maybe they've been interested in a certain person for quite some time or involved with a certain person for quite some time already. And then someone at the ending of a cycle maybe has just gotten out of a relationship or is considering leaving a relationship, or maybe they are in a separation or a falling out or a drifting apart of some sort. But again, it's up to you, and please feel free to claim whichever or however many messages you like from this part. So for group number 3, let's start with a card for those who are at the beginning of a cycle. We have the 10 of Pentacles. For those of you in the middle of a cycle, we have the 5 of Swords. And for those of you who are in the end of a cycle, we have the High Priestess. Okay, so in terms of zodiac signs, for now we do have water signs with the High Priestess. So Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces energy could be significant, or the season of summer might be significant for you guys. But I'm going to start over here with the 10 of Pentacles. For those of you who are in the beginning of a cycle in your love life, it really looks like you guys are ready for the real deal. The 10 of Pentacles is something stable, something committed, something that is going to support you in the long term. If you guys, actually, I feel like a lot of you guys who chose this group are feeling like you are ready for that. I'm sort of getting the vibe from this group that maybe you've moved on from a phase of just wanting to have fun or going for more casual things, and maybe you're starting to look for somebody that you can settle down with, or at least someone that you can be in a really serious long-term relationship with. And I have to say, group number 3, I really do think that you are ready for this, and I think that you have worked on yourself, and I think that you have set up your life in such a way that is welcoming to this kind of relationship. It seems like this group has done a lot of thinking, has done a lot of planning, has done a lot of action taking towards building the life that is the best for you, that is going to be the most fulfilling for you. And a lot of you guys are well on your way to achieving all of your goals, to getting to where you want to be in the future. And I'm just feeling it's coming through as like a round of applause from your spirit guides. They're really, really proud of you and all of the work that you guys have put in. So some of you guys have been hard at work, saving money. Some of you guys have been studying really hard. Some of you guys have been working really hard on your spiritual journey, working really hard on healing yourself. And this work has not gone unnoticed. You guys are shaping up to be such an incredible, bright individual. This is what your guides are saying. And I feel so cheesy saying this, but they're just really, really proud of the person you have become. You're like a top tier person, and you are going to be attracting a top tier person. You're going to be attracting a relationship that is the real deal. This is amazing. Some of you guys might meet somebody through your work with the 10 of Pentacles here, or you might be introduced to somebody from a coworker, or even like a boss, or even a family member is coming through as well. But I just feel such a sturdy and secure and like we're good for the future kind of energy from this 10 of Pentacles, and it's really, really amazing. You could also be attracting someone into your life who is quite wealthy and who is like a provider for you, someone who is very, very loyal. And being around them, you really feel like you can do anything. You really feel like you can make the future anything you want it to be. With the message of family that is here, this could be someone who is family oriented. So, you know, family means a lot to them, or they want to have a family of their own, something of this nature. But yeah, basically all of that summed up, you guys are ready for something serious and long-term, because you guys are serious about yourselves and you're serious about building the best life possible for you. Your guides are really, really proud of you for that. So moving on to the energy for those of you who are in the middle of a cycle, I will say that the Five of Swords is a bit of a challenging energy. It can talk about arguments, disagreements, inner or outer conflict, confusion. So if you are already with somebody in a relationship, or you've been involved with or interested in the same person for quite some time, there could be some kind of arguments or disagreements coming up for you guys, which it doesn't necessarily have to be, you know, an argument or disagreement in the sense of a heated exchange of words, or you're getting mad at each other or anything like that. But it could be, for example, you've walked this road together and now you've come up to a place where you realize that you don't see eye to eye on some things. You have different visions for the future, or you have different values, or maybe there is a misunderstanding or a miscommunication of sorts that leads to a bit of tension in the relationship. Now, how this plays out and how you overcome this, it will very much be up to you. The number 5, and I was actually just talking about this in group 2, but the number 5, which we have here, is sort of a pivotal number where things could go either way. So I do want you guys to know that whatever this disagreement or whatever this bump in the road is, it does not have to make or break your relationship. It does not have to tear you apart. And it's very, very much dependent on how you choose to deal with it and how you choose to move forward. It could sort of be a turning point in your relationship, and what comes after this, it could change your dynamic in a major way. An example that's coming to my mind is, let's say you're in a situationship with somebody and one of you was like not wanting something serious, but one of you is starting to think that you want something more serious. This could be like, okay, we want different things. I'm going to tell you what I want, and you can either be with me or you can go your own way, but this is what I expect. Or I have this value, you have that value. We either figure out a way to compromise and accept each other's worldview and accept each other's way of life, or we can stick to our own guns. So it's very much up to you guys, but this does look like a little bit of a heads up, a little bit of a warning that there could be this kind of obstacle coming up. Maybe some of you guys have already sort of seen this coming, and I'm also just picking up that this could be from external forces as well. So it could be, for example, you and this person are happy together, but maybe their family has something to say, or their friends have something to say, or their ex has something to say. It could be someone from the outside, like coming into the picture and kind of messing with things a little bit. So that's just something to be aware of. I really do think that if you're willing to work things out with this person, I think that things can move in a positive direction. It might be a little bit uncomfortable. You might have to be very brutally honest with each other, but I do think that things can go well and move in a good direction for both of you. So now for this final card, for those of you who are at the end of the cycle, we have the High Priestess here. I kind of feel that this is going to be a different interpretation for not for every single person, but like depending on what you're feeling in your heart and depending on what your intuition is telling you, because the High Priestess is a card that essentially is telling you that your intuition on this situation is correct. So For example, let's say you just went through a breakup or you're in a separation, and maybe your intuition is telling you, I know that someone better is coming for me, or something better is coming for me. I know that a new beginning is coming. If your intuition is telling you that, then this card wants you to know that you're absolutely right in what you are perceiving, that this is something that your higher self and that your spiritual team have been trying to tell you and trying to confirm to you. But conversely, there may be some of you who have just gone through a breakup or separation and you're thinking, I know that this is not the end. I know that this person is going to come back to me. I know that we have unfinished business. I know that we're going to have a reconciliation. And so, you know, you could be thinking very different things. Like for those of you out there watching at home, you could be thinking very different things about this separation, about this cycle ending. But what this High Priestess is telling you is that your intuition is correct. So stand firmly in your deep knowing that everything is going to be okay. There is a crow on this card, which makes me think of a protective spirit guide. You guys might be seeing crows or ravens or some sort of black bird to let you know that you're protected and that everything is going to be okay. But if I could give you guys some advice, when you are waiting for this outcome, which you know is coming, the High Priestess would sort of encourage to take a more passive role than an active pursuing role. So if you're feeling like a reconciliation is coming here, the High Priestess would more so be encouraging you like not to reach out to this person at this time, to do your own thing, to patiently wait and just be calm in the knowing that this person will return to you. Or if you feel like someone new is coming, you don't have to be like running around and looking for them and chasing people. And the High Priestess came out in the last group and I spoke about this as well. But she is more of like a sit back, relax, and let it come to you kind of energy. Don't try to force the situation or go out there and get it. It will come to you in the right time. So this is very much like a, yes, you're right about what's to come, and sit back and trust and wait for it to come to you. So, oh yes, and I forgot. I'm gonna roll the Astro Dice as well to see what other messages we have for you guys. So this is Pluto, I think. Yes, this is Pluto. So we have some Scorpio energy here. We also have Sagittarius, and we have 4. So this would be the 4th house. That's Cancer energy. This is of course a timeless reading, but when you happen to be watching this video, if the months of November and December are coming up, this could be an important time for you guys. Someone might have Pluto in Sagittarius, which I believe is people who are born in the second half of the 90s and maybe the early 2000s, I'm not sure. Pluto spends a lot of time in a sign, so... But I have Pluto in Sagittarius, so definitely late 90s people will have this. And could even be Pluto in Sagittarius in the 4th house. This could also be referring to a Virgo ascendant, because a Virgo ascendant would have Sagittarius in the 4th house. So if those are significant placements to you, that can certainly be a confirmation, but they do not have to be. Pluto talks about an intense transformation and an uprooting of things that are not going to work anymore. And it's kind of reminding me of Tower energy, even though the Tower is not associated with Pluto. It is associated with Judgment though, which is also about transformation, ascension, awakening. There's some sort of major shift that is coming, and I can kind of see this for all of these messages, whichever one you resonated with, or maybe you resonated with several of them. I think this High Priestess is sitting calm and knowing deep down that some major shift is coming in her life. So she doesn't have to rush. She doesn't have to get up and get anything. It's almost like the image that I'm seeing is like, there's a mountain here and the High Priestess is like, I don't need to move this mountain because the what is it called? The freaking tectonic plate is gonna shift and this mountain is gonna be brought to me. It's like the high priestess knows that the universe is going to move mountains for her to bring her her desired outcome. And then with the Five of Swords as well, I think that this bump in the road, this disagreement, this obstacle, whatever you guys are resonating with, it will bring a deep and lasting change in your relationship. It might seem at first like you're doomed. It might seem like it's the end of the world, but this could actually be something that brings you much closer. And I've had moments like this in my relationship where I bring something up and I'm like, oh my God, like I bring something up that I'm concerned about and I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be a deal breaker. This is gonna end it all. But then it just brings us even closer. So don't be afraid of these uncomfortable transitions. If you're resonating with the Ten of Pentacles energy, maybe you've already gone through this tower moment. Maybe you've already gone through this transformation. Because what I see you guys doing here is building up your solid and sturdy tower, is building up your solid and sturdy home. So you guys have either just gone through a really major like earth shifting change, or that is coming soon and you can feel it coming. But Pluto is here to confirm that to you. And with the fourth house here, I think Pluto's coming to redirect you back to your home. So that could be coming back to yourself, coming back to your true self. It could be redirecting you to the person that you're meant to be with, to the place that you're meant to be in. But any ways in which you guys have strayed from your authentic self or strayed from your home, so to speak, I think Pluto's coming to literally shift the earth and bring your home back to you. We also have Sagittarius, which for you guys, I'm thinking of Sagittarius's association with optimism, with good luck, with blessings. I'm thinking of, it's the Moonology card, the new moon in Sagittarius, and it says luck is on your side. Definitely whatever shifts are happening in your life, they are going to be favoring you. I'm honestly, the more and more I sit with this energy, I'm starting to feel more and more optimistic about this Five of Swords. Whatever this Five of Swords is that's coming to you, it might be a difficult conversation. You might come up to a hurdle with your person of interest or with your partner, but it's shifting you to a better place. It's shifting you to where you feel more at home with each other, where you feel more lucky to have each other, where you appreciate each other even more. And yeah, this Sagittarius energy is totally saying, luck is on your side. These transformations are going to favor you. Everything is going to work out for the best. I need to drink some water because I have a very scratchy throat right now, which I'm sorry if you could tell, but somebody might have trouble speaking up, or somebody might have a blocked throat chakra, or it's just very dry in here and I'm reaching, but I thought I would mention that in case it's significant. So let's get into the tarot that you guys chose now, and we'll get a little bit more insights into what is coming next in your love life for group number 3. Okay, I'll take all 3 of them. So we have the Four of Rings. This is the Four of Pentacles, and it says conservation and practicality. We have the Three of Rings, or the Three of Pentacles. It says collaboration and competence. And we have the Two of Swords, which talks indecision and avoidance. Okay, oh wait, I'm just gonna pull the rest of them and then we'll get into this. We also have the Three of Wands with development and opportunity. And we have the Three of Swords with upheaval and release. I pulled an extra card for you guys as well. And then we have the Wheel of Fortune at the bottom of the deck with adaptation and elevation. Okay, so what's interesting is all of the numbers here are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like we have 10, which reduces to 1, 10, which reduces to 1. And then we have 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4. Oh, this is also 2, and 5. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe something is happening in the next 5 weeks or the next 5 months or something like that. Or if you see, you guys might see angel numbers that go up in a sequence. So like you might see 1 2 3 or 1 2 3 4 or 3 4 5 or even like 2 4 6. If you see numbers going up in a sequence like that, that might be your angels communicating to you and letting you know that change is happening in your love life. But here with the Wheel of Fortune, at least at this point in your life, it feels like a lot of what you are going through in terms of your relationships and in terms of your love life is faded. And a lot of the time you might feel like things are out of your control, like things are out of your hands. The Wheel of Fortune also kind of has an unexpected or unpredictable sort of energy to it. So while I do think that you guys are very tapped into your intuition and you do have a good sense of what is coming, I think that how everything falls into place and when everything falls into place and sort of what form it takes in the 3D, that might be kind of surprising to you. So I think for you guys, this journey is sort of a balancing act of trusting that you know what's coming and trusting in your intuition, but also not trying to meddle with the universe's plan. Because when the Wheel of Fortune is here, there's a lot of divine intervention. There's a lot of divine direction or redirection, and you might know where you're going, but you might not know how to get there. And actually, I feel like I keep going back to this 5 of Swords, but I feel like on this journey to your desired outcome in your love life, there may be some times where you feel like you're actually going backwards, or you feel like whatever's happening is actually a sign that you're not getting your desired outcome. So it's really important for you guys to suspend judgment about what is happening. And I would say to really be conscious that you're not being reactive, if that's the right way to put it. And I should have used the fallback deck in today's reading because I keep quoting it even though I'm not using it. But there's a card in the fallback deck that says, not everything needs your reaction. And I think that's really, really going to ring true for your journey. So like, for example, a disagreement that you have with your person, or a drifting apart that you have with your person, and you're thinking this isn't supposed to be happening, or this is a sign that things are not going the way I want them to, this is a sign that we're not going to end up together, when in fact it's the very opposite, when in fact this is actually a key ingredient for you guys getting together, being together, and staying together in the way that you want to. So yeah, it's like suspending judgment of the universe's process and what she has planned for you, and remembering that she knows best, and also remembering that she's always listening to you, and she is fulfilling your orders, and she is answering your prayers. But we don't know what that's supposed to look like. So I just feel like that is especially important for this group to remember. Like, a lot of this is going to seem out of your control, and a lot of this is fated and is playing out in a specific way. But everything, again, the Wheel of Fortune is a card that means everything is working in your favor. If you do have a specific person in mind watching this video, I will say it is very likely that there's some element of fate or destiny between you guys, and that the universe is working to bring you together, because I see that very often with the Wheel of Fortune as well. And I like the messages of adaptation and elevation, because it's like the universe is saying, if you're willing to go along with me, if you're willing to roll with me and adapt to my plan, I can elevate you to an even higher level of blessings, to an even higher level of joy. Because with this Sagittarius energy, you're expanding, you're receiving blessings, luck is on your side. So we have to simultaneously trust in ourselves that we know what we want and we know that we're getting there, but also trust the universe to take the wheel and show us how to get there, and show us when we're going to get there. And all of the little details like that we can leave to the universe. But I want to tell you guys that you are very, very heavily divinely guided and divinely protected. The Four of Pentacles always makes me think of that, and you guys will probably know that if you've seen my other readings where the Four of Pentacles shows up. For me, it means that angels are watching over you. and that nothing can go wrong, and that you are very much on the right path. I think you guys also need to trust yourselves that you're on the right path, and that everything is happening exactly as it should. With the Three of Pentacles here, there's another feeling like you guys might be meeting this person at work, or you did meet this person at work, or maybe you have similar careers and you'll be collaborating with each other at some point, or like the work this person does really inspires you, or vice versa. Because that's the second time this message is coming out, so it must be significant for some of you. And the Three of Pentacles is also giving me that feeling that for some, this Five of Swords could be a third party coming in, like a family member, or I was gonna say a boss. The third party doesn't even have to be a person. It could be like someone's job is getting in the way, or someone's location is getting in the way, or something like that. But it feels like there's you and this person, and then there's a third energy that is kind of meddling, or that is kind of making things difficult. But this third energy is also part of your destiny. It's also part of the story that you will play out together. And it is put in between you as something that you can overcome, and as something that is kind of like testing the strength of your connection and your commitment to each other. It's very interesting that the pentacles are rings in this deck, because rings make me think of like of commitment and of something that is eternal. And then we have the Two of Swords here, which is about indecision. So sometimes it might feel like this person has to choose between you and something else, or that this person is making you choose between them and something else. And it could be another person, like a third party situation. Again, like I said, it could be somebody's career where it's not even that they have to choose. It feels like an illusion. But the Two of Swords talks about this kind of stalemate where both people are refusing to take action, or there's a problem that both people are refusing to address. And maybe it's out of fear that addressing this problem is going to turn the other person away, or, you know, I see the red flag in the relationship, but I'd rather pretend that it's not there, because if we acknowledge it, then we have to separate, or there could be something like that is going on. And the universe is trying to tell you that this is an illusion, because acknowledging whatever this is, acknowledging whatever is coming in between you guys, or whatever is causing friction, is actually an opportunity to become more intimate with each other, to become more vulnerable, and have some really meaningful conversations, and also for you to realize how much you really do care about each other. So it's almost like this Two of Swords is encouraging you not to shy away from the Five of Swords, whatever it is, to not shy away from the difficulties that this other energy might be causing. We have to, it makes sense that you have Pluto here, because this is also Scorpio energy, 8th house energy, facing the shadows, making the unconscious conscious. Things that have been hidden, things that have been suppressed are coming up. I think that you guys are learning, you're learning to speak up when something doesn't feel right, or when your needs are not being met. And that might have been something that didn't feel good in the past, or that wasn't received well in the past, or that got you in trouble in the past. But okay. It's kind of coming together. You guys are learning that your dissatisfactions deserve to be heard, that your complaints, that your objections deserve to be heard, and that it's not, if you bring them up, it's not your fault for ruining the mood or for bringing negativity into the situation, because it needs to be addressed. So this might be something that you guys are unlearning from previous relationships, and going back to this feeling of like there's an illusion that somebody has to choose. The example that's coming to my mind is like, let's say that you've been in a relationship in the past where the other person was really, really, really busy with work. And if you brought it up, like, I wish that we had more time together. I wish that you would communicate to me more. I wish that you would prioritize me more in your life. They might have thrown that back at you like, oh, so you're trying to make me choose between you and my job. Or maybe you were just too afraid to bring it up because you didn't want to make them choose. But you never have to choose. It's never like it's either you or this thing that's in the way. It's either you or this problem. And in the past, I think it's been falsely presented to you in this way where it's like, you can either choose to be with me or you can choose to be negative. You can choose to focus on the negative. It almost like someone was making you out to be the bad guy for bringing up what was wrong in the relationship or bringing up how you were dissatisfied in the relationship, when in reality, it's just an opportunity to get to know each other more and to adjust your sails to meet each other's needs better. Someone was so afraid of addressing the negativity because it felt like you were... Does it make sense? I hope that it makes sense, but it's not about like you're either choosing to be with... It's the type of person who's like, well, I don't know what you're talking about because I'm happy in this relationship. So if you're choosing to break up with me because you're not happy, then that's on you. When it's like, no, I'm bringing this up so we can work on it together. This is the kind of vibe. This is the kind of vibe that I'm getting. So you guys have you've either let go of a relationship like this and worked on yourself to bring in a new one, or maybe you guys have let go of this dynamic that you had with someone and you're working on yourself separately, and then you will come back together in the future. Again, it's whatever you guys have been wanting for yourself, whatever you guys have been feeling intuitively. But I do think this is an energy that you guys are overcoming, and there will be potential if you do want to go back to the same person and work things out with them. I have to say that there is potential for that. But with that being said, I know that that's not everybody's cup of tea. Some people cringe at the sight of their ex coming back, or, you know, like someone they're separated with coming back. So if you're welcoming someone new into your life, again, it's whatever your intuition is telling you. But this looks like a dynamic that you guys have healed. And I really, really love that the Three of Wands is here, because this talks about growth. This talks about expansion. This talks about moving on to bigger and better things. It makes a lot of sense. I was thinking of the Judgment card with this Pluto energy. It's like you're moving on from past energies that don't serve you. You're stepping up. You're a more mature person now. You're a more awake person now. You see clearly now. You see the bigger picture. You want the best for yourself. This is the energy that you guys, this is you. Like the Three of Wands and the Ten of Pentacles. This is your energy right now. You guys are on fire. Like, I'm so proud of you guys for your spiritual journey, for your healing journey, for your journey to awakening. You have done such an amazing job. You've really taken accountability for your future, for your happiness. And I hope, if you haven't done this already, that you will look back at how far you've come and how much you've grown and be really, really freaking proud of yourself. And also be thankful to your past self for not giving up and to getting you to where you are now. Because I swear you guys have evolved in such a beautiful way. You've had such an energetic glow up, and you're just amazing. You're just amazing. I can feel it. I can feel it from across the screen or across the world, wherever you are. I just keep wanting, yeah. And I even felt like there's a round of applause coming from your spirit guides. Like, man, the growth, the maturity, the ascension. I'm so happy for you guys and so proud of you guys. I feel like you've identified what wasn't working. You've identified the red flags from your past, and you're ready to do this right, and you're ready to build your solid home and you're ready to trust the universe and dive into this next chapter. We do have the Three of Swords here, which usually I would consider to be kind of a sad or upsetting card, but the keywords on this, upheaval and release, oh my gosh, it makes me feel so good. And it's really, there's just a lot of Plutonian, I think is the way to say it. There's a lot of Plutonian energy. So I don't know if like Pluto is transiting, like is making an aspect to one of your personal planets or is doing a little number on your birth chart. I'm not sure, but his energy is coming up quite a bit. Upheaval and release. There is potential for big transformation here, for big rebirth here. And you guys are either bringing in an amazing new love, or you're going through transformation with your current partner and things will be better than ever before. Or again, if you're manifesting a reconciliation, a reunion, that energy is here for you too. But this is like such an outstanding metamorphosis, and I'm so happy for you guys. Okay, so let's take a look at your oracle cards now for any additional messages and advice. We have gratitude with appreciate present blessings. So you guys, at the time that you are currently watching this reading, you might not be exactly where you're hoping to be in the future, but the universe is telling you that there's already so much for you to be grateful for right here, right now. Even if you are single and you don't want to be, or you're in a separation and you don't want to be, there is so much abundance for you right here, right now. There is so much happiness for you right here, right now. I know this is kind of literal and maybe a boring interpretation, but I don't know why I said that. That wasn't very nice, Kino. But you guys might want to start a gratitude journal or get back to a gratitude journal if that's something that you kind of fell off the wagon with. I know it's something that I like start and then fall off the wagon, but I always feel better when I'm doing it. And as I start writing, it just keeps on coming more and more and more. Even if I go into it thinking that I'm only going to write a couple things down, I usually surprise myself with how many things I find to be grateful for. And it really, really does lift my spirits. You know, going back to this high priestess energy of it may not necessarily be time to take any overt action towards the outcome that you want in your love life. And this is more of a time to like sit back, do your own thing, be in the present moment. With this Three of Wands here, I think that you guys might have a significant opportunity coming to you, either like in career or in travel as well, or in a creative pursuit. The Three of Wands can talk about all of those things. But the universe, and there is a message like this in another group as well, the universe is gonna hold your hand and help you to find joy in the present moment and to help you be grateful for where you are right now. And with the Four of Pentacles, this is your reminder that you are exactly where you need to be and you are on the right path. But sometimes it just takes a little bit of extra effort to be conscious of those things. And I think that the more you do this practice of gratitude, again, like the more it will flow, things you didn't even expect, you're finding this and this and this to be grateful for. And I also think it will become like a second nature the more you practice this. We also have Moldavite, and the butterfly again is making me think of deep transformation. Moldavite also makes me think of star seeds because I think it comes from space, doesn't it? I think Moldavite comes from a meteor or something like that. So you guys might resonate with starseed energy. Maybe if you feel like, if you intuitively feel really, really drawn to somebody, you might have the same star origin. So you kind of have like similar energies, of course, if that resonates with you. But Moldavite also makes me think about embracing uniqueness in yourself and in your journey, and embracing unconventionality and embracing unpredictability. So you guys might have a love story that is kind of weird. Like the way you come together is unusual. or the fact that two people like this would find each other and fall in love and be together is kind of unusual. And unusual is subjective, but you know, maybe to some people it is. Plutonian energy is also, it can talk about taboo things, like its association with Scorpio in the 8th house. So you guys might be drawn to someone who, and I'm not saying any of these things are taboo, but I also recognize that like some people in the world would consider this to be taboo. Like different walks of life, age gap, distance gap, gap in your social status or in your financial status. It could be even like an LGBT couple or a poly couple, so like more than 2 partners. These are things that society has deemed as unconventional, or they are, or I don't know, whatever, it doesn't matter. But embrace what makes your journey different. Or maybe it's like you haven't met this person in the 3D, but you feel a spiritual connection, and that's taboo and that's unusual to many people. Whatever it might be, the Moldavite is letting you know that the unconventionality of this connection is exactly how it should be. And yes, your love story is unusual because it was meant to be. And don't let the unusualness, don't conflate unusual with unlikely. That's what the Moldavite is trying to say. So, oh, this is unlikely to work out because we come from different sides of the world. This is unlikely to work out because we have different families, because we are different like social or economic statuses. What did I just say? I liked it. Unconventional or unusual does not mean unlikely. Moldavite is also very, very powerful for manifestation. So in addition to a gratitude journal, if you guys do keep a manifestation journal or like scripting for manifestation, that's going to be really, really powerful as well. We have chamomile with calm. So your angels are saying keep calm. Everything is going to be okay. Stay in this high priestess energy. Again, I don't feel like any immediate action is required from you, and things will all fall into place naturally for you. Chamomile makes me think of sleep as well, because chamomile tea helps you sleep. So pay attention to any dreams that you have at night with the high priestess here as well. She's like the ruler over the moon and the night and all things intuitive and psychic. So you could be connecting to this person in your dreams, or your guides could be bringing you important messages in your dreams. If you have a very significant dream that really leaves you feeling some kind of way with this person, don't dismiss it, don't ignore it. You likely did meet with them in the astral realm, and they likely said or did what they did for a reason. We have sky dancers with surrender, so that's just the same message again. Surrender, be calm. Everything is flowing as it should. We also have, okay, you're just repeating yourself now. We have gratitude and we have appreciation. Sunflowers might be significant for you guys. Or I know that these aren't daisies, it's chamomile, but they kind of look like daisies. So these types of flowers might be a significant sign for you guys. And then this black little dragon butterfly is making me think of the crow again. So black birds or black butterflies or even moths could be significant for you guys. This even kind of looks like a cicada because it's black and it has these beady red eyes. And then, oh, and we also have a fox here, I believe, with the message integrate your knowing. So this whole section with the oracle cards is like an ode to your intuitive knowing. But with this message, integrate your knowing, it's almost like your angels are saying to you, keep living your life knowing that this is going to turn out how you think it is. And maybe ask yourself, what does that look like? Like, what would I do and how would I live my life if I knew that my desired outcome is fated, if I knew that my actions are not going to mess with my fate? Because I think that's something we can be very, very afraid of. But if you know what you want and you have that desire in your heart, I think it's really, really hard to stray from your destiny. if you're following your joy and you're following your passion, it's really, really hard to stray from your destiny. So rather than telling yourself, I want to do this, but I think it's gonna mess up my destiny, or I feel like doing that, but it might bring me farther away from my person. Rather than thinking like that, ask yourself, what would I do if I knew that anything I could possibly do was in alignment with the divine plan, was in alignment with this union? Because it is. Because you're tapped in, and because your inner guidance is a lot stronger than you realize. But yes, I think that is the last message I want to leave you guys with. So I'm going to end the reading here. Thank you guys very, very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. I also have a Patreon, so if you guys are interested in seeing even more exclusive pick of cards where you get to choose the topic, that will be linked down below too. And I have a music channel. The song that you heard at the start of this video was an original song, so if you're interested in listening to that or any of my other songs, that music channel will be linked down below too. I'm sending you guys lots of love, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye! Hi number 4s, so if you guys chose the Rose Quartz Heart and the Muse Tarot, this is going to be a reading all about what is coming next in your love life. So to make this reading a little bit more personalized, I am going to pull a few cards from this deck to give different interpretations based on your relationship status or based on where you are at in your love life. So I'm going to be pulling one card for those of you who are in the beginning of the cycle, the beginning of a cycle, the middle of a cycle, and the end of a cycle in your love life. Now, it's totally up to you where you feel like you are at in your love life, but just to give some examples, if you're at the beginning of a cycle, maybe this is like you're single and you're looking to meet somebody new, or you have just met somebody new and you're interested in them. If you're in the middle of a cycle, maybe this is that you are already in a committed partnership, or you've already been interested in the same person or involved with the same person for quite some time. And if you're at the end of a cycle, maybe you have just gone through a breakup, or you're considering leaving a relationship, or you're in a separation, a falling out, or a drifting apart of some sort. Again, it will be totally up to you where you feel like you're at and which messages you want to claim, and you are more than welcome to claim several or even all of them if they do resonate. So please claim whichever or however many you like. All right, so for group number 4, let's start with the message for those who are at the beginning of a cycle. I'm feeling a little bit of confusion for those of you who are at the beginning. So we have the Queen of Swords coming through. For those of you who are in the middle of a cycle, we have the Seven of Swords. And for those of you who are at the end of a cycle, we have the Magician. Ooh, okay, so first of all, air sign energy could be significant with the Queen of Swords here. So that is Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. And then with the Magician, this is Mercury energy. So it could be Gemini or Virgo energy. And then I also think of Aries with the Magician, although I'm not sure if that's the actual zodiac association, but I've just been saying that this whole time, so I'm gonna put Aries in there as well. And I'm gonna start over here with the Queen of Swords for those of you who are at the beginning of a cycle in your love life. Like I said, I was feeling a little bit of confusion when I shuffled the deck, so maybe you guys are feeling a little bit confused or even a bit frustrated when it comes to meeting somebody new. Like you are not sure where to start, you are not sure where to meet somebody, you're not sure how to manifest the person you want or if you're on the right track. And honestly, just looking at this Queen of Swords, I am not really getting the answer to that just yet, and it's probably something that we will look at when we get into the deck that you guys have chosen and look at more details. But yeah, I just feel this kind of confused or frustrated energy for you guys. When it comes to the Queen of Swords, and this interpretation can go one of two ways, and I think what we'll end up seeing is that the important thing is that you strike a balance between these two energies. But on one hand, she can come up when there's a need to clear away energies that don't serve us anymore, when there's a need to have firmer boundaries in place. But on the other hand, she can also come through to warn us that we might be too closed off. And actually, maybe this is what you guys are confused about. Because on one hand, we want to be open to love. We want to be trusting. We want to be open to receiving. We want to be compassionate. We want to give people a chance. And on the other hand, we want to stand up for ourselves, and we want to have boundaries in place, and we don't want to get hurt, and we want to have a healthy level of walls up. So some of you guys might be struggling at this time to figure out where your boundaries really lie. Like when you are getting to know someone and you're starting to feel kind of dissatisfied, maybe you struggle to know, like, is this where I put my foot down? Is this where I speak up? Is this where I distance myself? Or am I supposed to just be patient? Am I supposed to give them the benefit of the doubt? Am I supposed to like give them a chance? Am I being too picky? Am I being too strict? Or am I being too much of a pushover? Like, this might be something that you guys struggle with, and you may kind of go like a pendulum between the two extremes, where maybe you are too open and compassionate and then you get taken advantage of, or you get hurt, or you start to forego your own boundaries. So then you swing back to the other extreme of being very closed off, of not trusting people, of not letting people in, of having your bar set really, really high. Yes, and it's definitely hard to find that balance, and it's definitely hard to find that middle ground. So I think that this is the energy that you guys are dealing with. And I'm even sensing a bit of exasperated energy for those of you who are trying to find love or who are trying to manifest someone new into your life. Again, I'm sure we'll get more advice for you as the reading goes on, but I do want to just mention one other interpretation of the Queen of Swords, which is being able to look at a situation objectively and even seeing the humor in a situation. So there might be a need here, like, to not take your situation so seriously, or to not take yourself so seriously. I was just reading, I think it was a blog post. I was just reading a blog post about the Queen of Swords, and they put it so well. And I'm trying to remember how they worded it. I don't think that I'm going to do the post justice, but I think they were talking about almost looking at your life as a movie. And you're this character in the movie, and your life is interesting because you have highs and lows, because you have ups and downs, because you have triumphs, and because you have struggles. So if you're going through a tough time, if you're struggling for something, it's about not completely getting down on yourself, or thinking that you are doomed, or thinking that you can't do anything right, or thinking that your life is terrible, but just seeing yourself as a human who's having this experience and doing their best, and being able to see the silver lining, being able to laugh at yourself, being able to not take the situation so seriously is really, really important. So for example, if someone's like on Tinder looking for their future partner, and they had another bad date, I think it would be really healthy for them if they're able to like go home to their roommate or call their friend and laugh about how ridiculous this date was. And oh my gosh, like, just my luck, right? That this kind of person would show up and it would go this way. Like, it's important to be able to frame it and look at it like that, rather than, you know, what am I doing wrong and the universe is punishing me, and being really, really serious and pessimistic about it. And I think I'm dancing around the heart of what that post was talking about. I did my best to remember it and reinterpret it. But yes, a healthy level of emotional detachment and being able to look at the situation objectively and not take yourself so seriously, I think is very, very important. And I also want to say this balance that we talked about, striking this balance about where your boundaries are and where you want to put walls up and where you want to let your walls down. This is a lifelong journey. This is something you're going to be figuring out for your whole life. And I don't say that to make you like discouraged or to make you pessimistic, but it's not something that you need to put the utmost pressure on yourself to figure out absolutely, because it's not a finite destination that you get to and then you're all set. It's something that is going to be a balancing act forever. And it's something that you might want to change in the future because you're a human and you're going to grow and you're going to change your mind and you're going to meet different people that call for different interactions. So taking that pressure off of yourself of I need to figure this out and just feeling your way through your experiences, not putting all of that pressure, not taking it too seriously, that's going to be really, really helpful for you guys. So moving on, we have the Seven of Swords, and this is the energy for those of you who are in the middle of a cycle. So you are already in a relationship or you've been involved with or interested in the same person for quite some time. The Seven of Swords is a card that can talk about deception, although that's not necessarily the vibe that I'm getting from this image. At least not intentional or malicious deception. With the crescent moons on this card and with the way the swords are raining down, it makes me think of truths being exposed because swords represent truth and clarity and they're raining down on her, and crescent moons make me think of intuition. The moon makes me think of things being illuminated. And one of the meanings of the Seven of Swords is that you don't have all of the information. I'm sorry if you guys... My ankle keeps cracking. I'm really sorry if you can hear it. It's kind of gross. But one meaning of the Seven of Swords is that you're not seeing the full truth of a situation. So there might be some part of your partner or your person of interest that has not been exposed to you yet, or there is some part of you that you have yet to expose to your partner and your person of interest. And so I guess, again, like it's not intentional deception, but it has the feeling of maybe you or your person or both of you have kind of been wearing a mask when it comes to this connection. Maybe you're hiding parts of you that you're afraid would be judged or you're afraid would make your person look at you differently. But I think what's coming up for you guys is an opportunity to let it all out. To let the truth out. And with this moon representing intuition, maybe you guys have felt intuitively like there's something that my partner or my person is going through. There's something that my partner is thinking or feeling, but they're not saying it. And maybe when they do come out and say it, it's not even going to be a surprise to you, but rather just a confirmation. But I'm just feeling with this card, things that are hidden are coming to light. And this is actually going to be a very, very good thing for your relationship. I think that any secrets that come out here, like it's not going to be something bad, because all of these sparkly stars on the card, it makes me think of the star in tarot. It makes me think of a bright future. So, you know, for example, somebody might be hiding how deeply they care about you or how deeply they feel about you or how much they miss you, or they might be showing you their vulnerable side, or they might be sharing a dream with you, something that they're really, really passionate about. Maybe someone was portraying themselves to be a little bit more stoic than they actually are. But yeah, things are coming to light and the truth is coming out, and I think it's going to be a really good thing for your relationship. And then next we have the Magician. So for those of you who are at the end of a cycle in your relationships or in your love life, the Magician is here to tell you that you have the power and you have what it takes to make this into any outcome that you want it to be. So if you guys are in a separation with someone and you would like to be in a reunion with them, you have the power to manifest that. If you got out of a relationship and you want to take some time for yourself and then move on to somebody new, you also have the power to manifest that. The magician says that whatever you want, you have what it takes to make it a reality. And there was a similar message in some other groups, but for this group specifically, I actually feel more of an urge for you guys to take action. Like, this is really putting the power in your hands, and this is really putting the ball in your court. So, for example, if you're apart from someone and you miss them, reach out to them. Let them know how you're feeling. Let them know that you miss them. Make yourself visible to them. Do something to get their attention or to get them to notice you. If you are out of a relationship and you feel like you're ready for a new one, start putting in the actions to meet somebody. Like, come out of your shell, or go like get out more, or install a dating app, or ask your friends if they know someone. Start to show outwardly to the universe that you are ready, because you have what it takes to manifest what it is that you want. I can kind of see these two energies going together, because the Seven of Swords was saying someone's being a little bit deceptive. Maybe someone is being deceptive with their silence, or someone is being deceptive with their passivity. Someone's acting like they've moved on and like they don't care, or like they're not ready, or that they don't want something when they really do. So the Seven of Swords could be calling you out a little bit. Like, if you want something, show the universe. If you want something, say it. If you want something, put it out there. Yes, but of course you are free to claim whichever of these you want, or many of them, or all of them. But this is what I see at first. So I'm going to roll the Astro Dice now and see what other information we have for you. So this would be, we have Uranus, and we have Gemini, and we have the 9th house. Interesting. So we have Gemini energy here, which I think we already mentioned with the Magician and with the Queen of Swords, because she's an air sign. Uranus is Aquarius energy. So there's a lot of air sign energy, even like Seven of Swords is air. And then we have a bit of Sagittarius with the 9th house. I honestly don't know if Uranus in Gemini is a thing, because I feel like that would have been such a long time ago. Like, the last time it was in Gemini, that would be like 80 years ago or something. So I don't think there's anyone watching who has Uranus in Gemini, or their person does. But Uranus is going to be in Gemini next, or it is in Gemini right now. The last I checked, it was in Taurus, but maybe those years are going to be significant to you when Uranus is in Gemini. Somebody could also have Uranus in the 9th house, or someone could have Gemini in the 9th house, which would make them a Libra rising, if I'm not mistaken. So if you or someone you're thinking about has these signs, that could definitely be a confirmation for you, although they certainly don't have to. But yes, with this Gemini energy here, communication is super, super important, whichever one of these you are resonating with. If you are the Magician, you have the power to use your voice and share what you're thinking and share what you're wanting to bring about the outcome that you want. If you're in this Seven of Swords energy, there's things that are being hidden, there's things that are not being spoken, and they need to be spoken, and they're going to be spoken. And even if you're this Queen of Swords who's struggling to figure out where your walls are and what your boundaries are, this is not something that you have to figure out all on your own. And maybe this is something that you want to like open up about and be a little bit vulnerable about. And if you have a new person in your life, or if you're meeting a new person, talk to them about where your head's at. Talk to them about what you're going through. This is not a process that you have to do in a vacuum, or that you have to do in isolation. And I think that if you open up about your struggles, you would be surprised how people reciprocate and feel relieved and open up as well. Like, if you say, you know, I really want to open up my heart to love, but I have these walls up because I'm afraid of getting hurt, and you know, I want to be compassionate, but at the same time, I don't want to be taken advantage of. You might find that the other person is like, I totally know how you feel and I can totally relate to that. I've been through this kind of relationship in the past, so I'm afraid of this and this and this happening. And just share what's on your mind. I think it's really, really important. Gemini is like pleading with you to speak up and to share what's on your mind, because you will be so pleasantly surprised at how it is received. And actually, the numbers 1 and 7 together that we have here, this really makes me think of a happy new beginning. It makes me think of new blessings coming to you. We have Uranus energy here, which is kind of giving me this energy of things being unpredictable, things being unexpected. So it's almost like you guys have in your mind, if I say this to my person or if I act this way, I'm gonna get this reaction. And the universe is saying, try me. Try me, put it out there, and you will be surprised at the reaction you get. And I mean that in the best way. If there's someone you want to make a move towards and you have it in your head, if I go towards them and strike up a conversation, they're gonna ignore me, they're gonna reject me, they're gonna do this or that. Uranus is here to throw you a curveball. Like, that's what Uranus loves to do. He's the quirky, not like other girls, Aquarius energy, and he's gonna come and shake things up for you. And I think the universe wants you to know that this next chapter of your life is going to be nothing like the last one. And I mean that in all of the best ways. And the universe wants you to be open to things radically changing and start to expect the unexpected. Some of you guys might also be like meeting a new person or coming back together with a person, if that's what you want, in a very unexpected way, like bumping into them when you least expect it. Or if you're meeting someone new, it could be kind of an unexpected match, so to speak. So for example, you have your type of person that you've always been into, a certain type of person that you've always dated, and then this new person who comes in and tugs on your heartstrings is just completely different. So Uranus is saying, be open to new experiences, be open to spontaneity and unexpected surprises. That's like the theme of this chapter of your life, is surprises. Surprises and communication. And then with the 9th house here, this is making me think of expansion. Not necessarily related to the 9th house, but the number 9 makes me think of awakening. It makes me think of, well, actually, spiritual growth and development is quite 9th housey and Sagittarian in nature. But yes, this is making me think of healing, of leveling up, of ascending, of reaching your highest potential. This is a period of a lot of growth for you, and I think it's a really empowering period for you. All right, so now we're gonna get into the Muse Tarot. I love your taste in decks, by the way. I love this deck. It's so colorful. She is simply gorgeous. And we are gonna see some more details about what is coming for you in your love life. For group number 4, we have the 5 of Emotions, or the 5 of Cups. Group 2 also got the 5 of Cups as their first card. Then we have the 10 of Inspiration, or the 10 of Wands. The 9 of Inspiration, or the 9 of Wands. Yeah, someone is learning to be vulnerable. And I think it's you. and also your person, if you have one. And then we have the Moon. So we have some Pisces energy here. And then at the bottom, we have the Muse of Materials, which is the King of Pentacles, which is Earth signs. Oh my gosh. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. That's a lot of zodiac signs, but also the seasons of autumn and winter could be significant for you guys in your love life. But I just want to talk about this card here, this King of Pentacles, as the bottom of the deck energy. This card makes me think, or in this deck, it makes me think of divine protection, because I see these two larger beings as like your higher selves or your spirit guides, and they're creating a protective tunnel over you so that you can safely walk through this passage. So this is definitely your guides coming through to let you know how protected you are. and letting you know that whatever action you choose to take, you will be safe. The King of Pentacles also makes me think of someone noticing you, or like the person you like, the person you look up to, the person you admire is looking back at you and thinks very highly of you. The person you put on a pedestal thinks more of you than you would even know. And you're being encouraged to give yourself more credit. So there may be, someone might be thinking, oh, this person is out of my league. This person would never look my way. And again, Uranus is saying, try me, bitch, for real. This could also be like your higher self and the higher self of your person who are coming together and protecting you and also protecting them. You guys are watching over each other. But I think that this King of Pentacles is really here to tell you that your future is promising, that a prosperous future, that a prosperous future is secured for you. Sorry, I completely lost my train of thought and I spaced out, but I was talking about a promising future, a prosperous future being secured for you. And then I also wanted to talk about the Midas touch, because this is a message that's on the Angel Tarot, on the King of Pentacles. And I thought that it really relates to you guys being the magician, being ready to manifest any of your desired outcomes. You are entering into a chapter of your life where you have the Midas touch, meaning that anything that you touch will turn into gold. Anything that you invest your energy into, anything that you set your intention on, is going to bear fruit, and these higher beings are making sure of it. The power is all in you. You have the power, you have the talent, you have the strength, you have the charisma, you have the intuition. They're just here to keep you safe so you can move forward and achieve everything it is that you want to achieve. And even though this is a reading about love life, I feel like some of you guys also need reassurance that professionally, materially, creatively, that success is on its way to you. I feel like many of you guys need that reassurance. For some of you, maybe you're interested in somebody right now, or you're already with somebody right now who is doing quite well for themselves materially, professionally, and maybe sometimes you feel like you can't live up to this person. And I'm not saying that's true. In fact, I'm saying it's very, very false. But that might be something that kind of gets to you if you feel like, oh, this person is more successful than me and more talented than me. You might feel that they're out of your league, but this could not be farther from the truth. So let's get into this row of cards here. We have the 5 of Cups, the 10 of Wands, and the 9 of Wands, and I feel like these are all really telling a story together. First of all, what I felt with these is that some of you guys have a past in love of a lot of like one-sided connections. I feel like you guys have been very, and this is probably why you're struggling with like where your boundaries are and where you need walls put up, because with the 10 of Wands, this is a one-sided energy. It's an energy of there's one person who's doing all of the work in a connection, or there's one person who's doing all of the like initiation. Like, I'm always texting first, or I'm always asking you to see me, almost to the point where like I feel like I'm burdening you, and I shouldn't have to feel like that. I should feel reciprocated. I should feel cared for. I should feel welcomed in your life. So I think you guys who chose this group might have a history of connections like that, where you have carried all of the weight. And the 5 of Cups is just literally about sadness and loss and disappointment. So I don't think I need to further interpret it that much. But another way I can frame these two cards is that you guys might carry the burden of your 5 of Cups all by yourself. If the 5 of Cups is about sadness and the 10 of Wands is about carrying a heavy burden by yourself and not asking for help, one thing that you guys might be learning, or maybe unlearning, is your habit of like keeping your sadness to yourself, or keeping your fears to yourself, and feeling like you just have to figure it all out on your own. So I think what's coming to you is a beautiful reciprocated connection, which is really it's really illustrated here with the two mirroring figures. And you have, oh my gosh, and you have the Chariot and the Sun underneath this. The Chariot is all about balance and harmony in a relationship. And then the Sun is about happiness, cheerful, carefree. It's like a pure, innocent, vibrant energy. There's huge happiness coming for you guys. Balance, reciprocity, mutual support. So yeah, Uranus is coming in to shake things up and saying, just because this is your past, it doesn't mean it's your future. And you might think it is, but again, I can swoop in and change everything in a second. That's my jam. That's Uranus's jam. This chapter of you guys carrying all the burdens by yourself, whether that's carrying the weight in the relationship that you're in or carrying your sadness all by yourself, those days are over. I think that you guys are learning how to ask for help, and you're learning how to receive from others. And I feel sad because I feel like even so many of you guys were debating about your boundaries when it comes to what you give to someone else, what you allow someone else to do. And it's like you haven't given much thought to what you can receive or what you can be allowed to do. Your default is like to always be on the giving end. And it's time to fix that. We need to get you guys receiving. We need to get you guys supported. And that's what these beings are here to do. That's what they're here to help you with. That's what they're here to help you learn and facilitate in your life. And with the Nine of Wands here, this energy will not go on for much longer. The Nine of Wands is like, this energy is already halfway out the door. You're in the home stretch. If you're trying to manifest something, like you're in the final stages before it has manifested, like with the number 9 being about something is near completion. The Nine of Wands makes me think that your spirit guides are acknowledging how tough the road has been, but that you just have to hang in there for a little bit longer because your wish is coming true. Your prayer is being answered. And the Nine of Wands also says that you don't have to be strong anymore. So it's such a beautiful card to come out like right after the 10 of Wands, which is like, I'm carrying way more than I can take. I'm carrying all of this burden on my own and it's not good for me. The Nine of Wands is saying this ends soon. This ends now. You do not have to be strong like this anymore. The next card that we have is the Moon. So one thing that this makes me think of is a psychic or a spiritual connection that you might be in or that might be coming to you. It could be somebody that you have dreams about. For those of you who are looking to meet somebody new, even if you haven't met them yet or you don't know them in the 3D yet, maybe their energy has been lingering around you for quite some time, and this is something that the Moon is confirming to you. So like the dreams you've been having, the signs that you've been seeing in your waking life, you're thinking, is this my future person's energy? Is this a sign that they're coming into my life? Is this a sign that they're around me? And the Moon is here to confirm that to you. I do think that this is someone you'll definitely feel before you meet. You will know their energy before you meet. You will likely dream about them. And I keep getting this feeling of like, maybe those of you who chose this group, there's a few of you who you're drawn to someone that you don't know, or like you're drawn to someone whom you haven't met yet, or something like that. Because the Piscean energy of the Moon is just kind of elusive like that. It's kind of elusive, it's kind of mysterious, it's very much energetic rather than physical and tangible. So at least for the moment, this might be how you're feeling in this connection. But another thing I want to say about the Moon is, for me, the Moon represents someone who is so freaking intuitive, so psychic, so in the know, but they doubt it so much. They doubt it so much. If they owned their abilities, they could be like high priestess level. This is like a high priestess who doesn't know she's a high priestess. That's how I feel when I look at the Moon. So someone who's getting all sorts of insights, someone who's picking up on all sorts of energies, someone who's receiving all sorts of signs, but they ignore them or they dismiss them or they just can't believe in them. And often they feel crazy. The Moon is this anxiety of like, what if I'm wrong? What if I'm not good enough? What if this is all an illusion? And this might be something that you guys struggle with quite a bit. And even this, I think you won't have to deal with any longer. So this Nine of Wands could even be saying, you know, it takes a lot of strength to rely on your intuition without the 3D to back it up. But you won't have to be strong like this anymore, because 3D evidence of what you want, of what your heart is longing for, coming to fruition is just around the corner. Interesting. So I think, was that everything I wanted to say with the moon? I just got carried away there and I said a bunch of stuff and I don't know what I said. So I feel quite spacey with this group. And that does happen sometimes when I'm reading. Like, it's definitely not the first time that I feel spaced out during a reading. It can be, I've always attributed it to like, there's a lot of spirit guides in the building and I'm just getting overwhelmed. But I'm feeling that energy quite strongly with this pile. I do think that you guys have a lot of protection with you. All right, so we are going to take a look at your oracle cards now to get any additional messages and advice that you may need with regards to your love life. We have energy, intensity, passion, and power. It's interesting that we have a lightning bolt here. This is making me think of something that is very sudden and very intense. So this change that is coming in your love life, yeah, I think we spoke about this. It could happen very suddenly, very unexpectedly. If you are meeting someone new, I really think it's going to hit you like a lightning bolt. So rather than an energy that you gradually warm up to, it's like you're gonna get hit with it. And it might be this moment like, holy shit, all of the dreams I was seeing, all of the signs I was seeing, this is it. This is the 3D manifestation of it. And it's almost like a eureka moment or an aha moment. And this is different for everybody. Like, there was another group earlier in this reading where for them, it was more of a gradual realization. It's not like one is better than the other. They're just different. And I feel like for you guys, it's this sudden, like you got stabbed with the truth. Like the swords came raining down on you. And all of a sudden, you see the truth. We have aquamarine. This is, and I just Googled this because in a different reading, I was talking about how I always get aquamarine and amethyst mixed up in terms of birthstones. Aquamarine is the month of March. I'm like 95% sure, but I always get it mixed up for some reason. And actually, this video is probably going to be up in the month of March. So this month might be significant for you guys with all of this swords energy. Swords energy is pretty fast. And we had the Nine of Wands, which was saying that, oh, even this is the month of March because it's Pisces energy. Wow. Okay. But yeah, even the Nine of Wands was saying, like your struggles are almost coming to an end. You don't have to be strong anymore. 3D proof is coming soon. Your manifestation is coming soon. Like we were getting all of these kinds of messages. So if you are watching this when this video is up, I think that this month could be significant. And actually, whenever you're watching this video, because this is timeless, of course, I would take this to just mean that within the month, so within the next month, there will be some significant, unexpected breakthrough in your love life. Aquamarine is a stone, and I'm sure it has many meanings, but the one that always really stands out to me is the message of going with the flow. So while there was a lot of encouragement for you guys to take action, I think it's important to keep in mind that we only need to be taking inspired action. We don't need to be taking action because somebody said we should or because we think we should. We take action when it feels good to do so. And in fact, if there are any actions that are necessary for you to take in order to get to where you want to be in your love life, I'm sure you'll get a little tip from one of these beings or one of the freaking 45 spirit guides that is around me. It will come to you as a sudden inspiration, as a sudden eureka moment of like, this is the action I have to take. And it's so weird. Like, I don't feel sick right now, but I'm hearing like I'm gonna be sick, and I have that feeling of like, I'm gonna be sick. So maybe this action that you're taking is something that would make you very, very nervous. Because even like when you're nervous, it feels like there's lightning going through you, but you will feel called to do so, and it will feel natural. It may even feel like something has come over you and you just got to do it. We have, passion flower with sacrifice. I love this passion. There was a message of you guys having a prosperous future ahead of you, of everything you touch turning into gold, of you being so worthy of success. And if it resonates with you, to not feel like the person you're interested in is above you or out of your league. I feel like this is an encouraging message for you to follow your passion, and that if you're really passionate about something, it's worth giving it your all. And that's kind of how I'm interpreting the message of sacrifice. Like, if there's something that you really want to do in this world, something that you really want to be successful in, you have what it takes. The magician means you have everything that it takes to be successful. And it's worth anything that you need to sacrifice, whether that's an investment of time, energy, resources, sacrificing some habits to clear out your schedule and clear out your energy and clear out your space. Go for it. This is your green light to go for it, to invest into it, to put work into it. Because when you put energy into the right things, the universe will match you. I feel like the past experiences that you guys have been through, it's really important that you don't take away this lesson of like, oh, I guess I'm not supposed to give my all to people, or I guess I'm not supposed to give my all to something because I'm just going to get disappointed. And I think it's easy to take away that lesson when you're hurt and when you're feeling bitter about what happened. And I'm hearing some kind of harsh words in my head towards some people who might have hurt you in the past. But it's like, don't let a couple of assholes that you dealt with in the past take away your power. Like, if you gave your heart and soul to somebody and they didn't give it back to you, yes, that hurts like a bitch. But the lesson there is not never give your heart away to anything ever again, because you're going to get hurt. And if you let that person win and let them scare you out of putting energy into your passion and giving your all to your passion and investing in your passion, like, we can't let them win like that. That is not the lesson to be learned here. It's about investing in things that give back to you and investing in things that are good for you, investing in things that make you passionate. And again, this is like a lifelong lesson to learn, but we have to make sure that we're not learning the wrong lesson. And I'm sorry to be harsh, but like, don't let the assholes win and don't let them freeze your heart. Ooh, we have beloved with radical acceptance. This looks like a heart that is on fire. So this could also be speaking about intense passion coming up in this relationship that you guys are manifesting. This person is likely feeling you on an energetic level as well, is likely dreaming about you as well. The dreams could be kind of steamy in nature with this passion flower and this beloved with the heart on fire. Yeah, someone's feeling your energy and feeling very, very passionate about it. I think that you guys also inspire each other and ignite each other's passions towards your life and towards your projects. Oh, we have bravery. So your guides are asking you to be courageous. It makes a lot of sense. They're encouraging you to take action even when you feel nervous, because I was getting that really like sickly nervous feeling. So making a move towards your person, you have what it takes. Making a move towards your passion, you have what it takes. Look at this fearless expression. I don't even really need to interpret this that much, but I like that it's the same color as the aquamarine. And I also like that we have the number 55, which is all about, this is like a pivotal moment in your life. There's potential for such great change in your life if you are willing to listen to your inner guidance and you are willing to receive it. And I also think this is a microphone. Probably this is the throat chakra symbol, but this tealy, turquoisey, bluey green color. It does make me think of speaking from your heart and expressing yourself, expressing what you love, because, you know, I'm thinking of the combination of the green heart chakra and the blue throat chakra would make kind of a color like this. Some of you guys are maybe pursuing something in like singing or speaking or a podcast or teaching or anything that uses your voice, or maybe the person you're interested in is like a speaker or a singer, or, you know, I definitely feel like you guys are creative because you were drawn to the Muse tarot, which is just, it's just like blossoming, overflowing with artist energy for me. But yes. Oh, and I love, don't these look kind of similar? Like these two protective beings that are mirrored and these protective beings that are mirrored. That's really nice. But yes, these are all the messages that I'm getting for you guys. So I'm going to end the reading here. Thank you very, very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. I also have a Patreon, so if you guys are interested in seeing even more exclusive pick-a cards where you get to choose a topic, that will be linked down below too. And I have a music channel. The intro song that you heard at the very start of this video was an original song. So if you guys are interested in listening to that or any of my other songs, my music channel will be linked down below too. I'm sending you guys lots of love, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.